Welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. What's good with you? And so here we are Saturday, guys. We've got the University of Texas versus the University of Georgia here. Two teams fighting in the SEC, the always competitive SEC. And we've got a great one here today. This is really a story between two teams here that honestly, they are watching their quarterbacks get better and better. And it's going to come down to probably which quarterback can be more efficient in this one and capitalize when you get in the red zone. Come away with touchdowns as opposed to field goals. But this one right here is going to be a hard-fought, hard-hitting game, and we're going to see which team wins it all in this one. And so, Laney, what's good? Laney says, hey, JB, glad you're back, and how have you been? And so, yeah, JB's doing good here. I'm glad to be back and glad that YouTube TV figured out their situation. That does help as well. But, man, what a day of college football so far today. I was really shocked by the South Carolina versus Texas A&M game, but A&M came back, won that one, man. It's been a crazy day. And Daniel, what's good with you? Daniel says, happy Saturday and hello, everyone. And yes, Daniel's already got his night started well, I see. That's what's up. That's what's up. And again, we're just waiting here for the kickoff here any moment here between the Longhorns and UGA in this one. Both teams currently with one loss in SEC play. For Texas, the road is tough. You're already 7-2, and you've got a ton of teams on the schedule that can really make or break your case. But if you're Texas, if you can run the table the rest of the way, you arguably enter the college football playoffs as the hottest team there is. As for Georgia, you know what this is right here. Hard-fought game. You come out, you be victorious. The brand sells itself. Everybody knows what UGA is all about, but you win a big game like this, and then, hey, it only elevates the program once again. So, because I believe we just saw, Bama take a hit to Oklahoma, 23-21. So crazy things have been happening. We'll see how Ole Miss continues to do against Florida in that matchup, but man. And so Samuel, what's good? And Samuel says, hey, JB, moving next year, 2026. And so, hey, it could be next year, could be next month. You never know. You never know. JB's working on finalizing a couple of things to figure out exactly when, but it will be soon. Absolutely. So I guess you could say for JB, this game right here, living in Texas now, having been in Georgia and then going to be returning to Georgia. So this game right here, I understand both teams here. So I'll be happy for whoever wins this one. But man, what a day it has been. As we get ready. I see that Georgia Tech did beat Boston College. I was monitoring that game earlier. So Georgia Tech, they got the W there in a close one against Boston College. Iowa, I thought for a second that Iowa perhaps was going to beat USC, but USC came back and won that one late. That was a good game, 26-21. Shoot, I watched some of the Michigan and Nebraska and Northwestern game. I thought Northwestern was going to do it, but towards the end, they just couldn't capitalize on offense. They ran out of gas, and Michigan was able to do enough to win that one there. So what a day for college football, and now we find ourselves here in this one. So guys, let me know where you stand with this one here. Are you guys rooting for UGA, or are you rooting for Texas? Let JB know here in the chat which team you are rooting for. And if you have a final score projection, let me know that as well. Let's see who hits on the correct score in this one. Again, Texas, UGA. Just waiting for kickoff for this one to get started. Let's see, Samuel says, you're ready to be moving in 2026 and 2027? Okay, bet. And Laney says, go Texas, hook 'em. Okay. All right, but here we go. In this game being played down there in Athens in this one. So you can see the UGA crowd. They are up for this matchup here. This is huge. Like we literally just saw a little bit earlier today. We got to see the Oklahoma versus Alabama game. That was a close one. I expect this one to be just as close and obviously just as important for this matchup here. But again, just awaiting the start of this matchup here. A big legacy game. This is the kind of game that when you look back at the end of the season, you remember matchups just like this one. All right, but so far, seeing the love here for Texas. Anybody rocking for UGA in here? But again, got to get ready for the coin toss, kickoff, all of that to get this one started as we await for both teams to come out of the tunnel here. It's not like a good old primetime night game matchup. Samuel says he's thinking about moving to Mississippi or maybe Tennessee. I feel you there. And so, hey, it's your boy Eli. What's good, Eli? What's good? Eli says, hi, how are you? And then Danny coming through. What's good? Good to see so many faces here. What's good? And so, hi, what are you doing? And so, yeah, JB is doing great. How are you doing, Vino? How are you? Glad to see so many faces here ready for this one. And again, let JB know which team you're rooting for in this one. Or maybe if your favorite team is another team, let me know who your team is in this one so we can see how this would impact your favorite teams. But man, this one's going to be a big one. I can feel it already. And so Eli says, what's your favorite football team? And so, yeah, so for me, my favorite team is the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's my favorite college football team. How about yourself? Vino says, great. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, looking at Texas here. Again, if you are rooting for Texas, you understand the schedule is not easy. There's a lot of teams coming up here where they maybe have 1 or 2 tough games. But for Texas, you really do control your own destiny. I know you got 2 losses here, but the strength of schedule the rest of the way, if Texas can roll the table the rest of the way, hey, sky's the limit. That will count for a lot because we all know how competitive the SEC is. And let's see, Vino says that is great that you're good. And so absolutely, I feel good too. You know, I've been counting down for this matchup all day long. Eli says you too. Hey, great minds think alike. Salmon says you think maybe a house for rent or an apartment. You decide between a house and an apartment. Hey, it's always a tough decision, really. Always a tough decision. Just make sure if you're choosing a house that you really love the location. Laney says in Ohio State playing. So yeah, Ohio State should be playing against UCLA right now, but your boy Nico's not playing in that matchup. I found that out, I think, like yesterday that he's not playing in that matchup there. But UCLA's been playing tough. You know, like literally earlier today, that Michigan Northwestern game, on paper, I would not have expected that one to be as close as it was. But UCLA, they've shown signs of life, you know, this season. But without their quarterback, we'll see what they look like. But hopefully the Buckeyes just go out there, take care of business. But we'll see if UCLA puts up a fight. You never know what happens in a conference game that plays this late in the day. You just never know. All right, and again, we're just all sitting here anticipating what is to come right now. But yeah, if you guys paid any attention to any other college football games earlier today that really stood out, let me know which games did you guys watch today and your thoughts on the matchups also. Let's see, Sammy says, JB, why live stream on a second channel? That's a good question. This is the first time when I actually was setting up my live stream today, Samuel, that I got a new thing that YouTube's doing, I guess, where I can go live on like multiple platforms there, or at least it looks like multiple platforms. So it's kind of the way that they set it up there. I didn't too much understand what that meant, honestly, but I was like, okay. And then once I set it up, I saw that they set it up twice. So I'm just going to see once it's all said and done, like how did that actually impact it? But it was basically YouTube's doing something new, long story short. Okay, so we can finally get ready for the kickoff here. So it looks like Texas will be getting the football here first. So we'll get to see Arch Manning and the Longhorns. How will they fare against this University of Georgia defense here? And again, we're talking about on the road here at UGA, which you know this place is going to be rocking. So let's see how it plays out. We've got SM in the building. What's good, SM? What's good with you? Meanwhile, on the kickoff, no return. So let's see what the Longhorns have in store for us here. Let's see, Mr. JB in the building. He says, let's go, Dogs. So Mr. JB's going for the Bulldogs here. Anybody else going for the Bulldogs? SM says big win today by USC. Yet, hey, I was a little nervous for them. I was a little nervous for them at first, but they came out, got the victory. That's what it's all about. But did anybody see how Notre Dame beat up Pittsburgh today? That was a very impressive game by Notre Dame. I have to say, because, you know, I'm always critical when they do bad, but when they do good, hey, I've got to point that out also. I see Ole Miss and Florida right now in the battle. Ole Miss up 10-7. But let's get back to the game here. So the Longhorns, shotgun formation, tight end goes in motion. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back. Quick pass to the receiver there. Can he make a play? Oh, he stumbled himself. He stumbled himself. Picked up 2 yards for Wingo, but that could have been more yards had he not tripped up on the play. But we got 2nd down coming up here for the Longhorns offensively. Again, first pass, completion there. They're going to credit him with a yard on that reception. Let's see, Samuel says NCAA college game week 12 and LSU game win. All right, here we go, 2nd and 9. Manny making adjustments here on the line. Got 2 backs there, 2 receivers. Got the tight end, 1 back goes in motion, snaps the ball. Arch looking, throws it, gets the completion. Look at that. Nice pickup on the play. I mean, he was all by himself, got the first down, and that was more with the reception. And believe me, he wanted more on that one. Laney says, yeah, you watched the Notre Dame play today? I mean, yeah, they made a statement there. That's the kind of play that you want to see this late in the season from your team that says, okay, we're hitting on all cylinders. The run game they have is phenomenal. All right, 1st and 10. Going to feed it to the back in the back. Look at that. Look at the patience that he showed. I want you to pay attention. While he was going between the tackles, the patience that he showed between each and every juke there. Excellent job there by Wisner on the carry. Kenneth, what's good? And Kenneth says, hey, Mr. JB, how you doing today? Hey, JB is doing great. Doing great. You say, let's go Longhorns. And you had pizza for dinner. JB's judge of that. What type of pizza did you get? And so we've got Linda in the building. What's good with you? Manning throws it. Gets the reception there by his tight end there. He had to fight to catch that one, but he did. Picked up about a good 4 yards on the play. Now we got 2nd down coming up. Again, this is the opening drive here for the Longhorns here. And right now they are moving the ball. Can they sustain it the rest of the way and finish in the end zone? That's what we're going to find out here. But opening drive here in the first quarter with 13:05 to go. 2nd and 6 here for the Longhorns. And they will run the ball again up the middle. And again, excellent job there by Wisner, getting what he could there, showing extreme patience, waiting for the holes to open up. And that offensive line is opening holes as of right now. And so then it says, hey, JB just stopped by to hit that like button. Hey, I appreciate that and appreciate you. And so Cool Water, what's good? 3rd and 3 here. He's definitely going to be well shy of that first down marker. Now, this is where I look and say, I can sort of understand the play call in theory because, hey, every time they ran the ball, they were getting 3+ yards. But that time, UGA said not so. So now we got a 4th down situation coming up here. Pivotal first down very early in the game in terms of getting early momentum in this one. Let's see if they actually do go for it. But they need 4th and 1. And they've got about 17 seconds right now on the play clock. Let's see, Cool Water said, is that boy JB or is it football-loving ghost? Fill you in. It could be both, Cool Water. It could be both. I appreciate that. Lady says ARC. Let's see. Is that a first down? And so, oh, man. RC. And that time, it was 4th down, and they went to the ground game. And they got the first down, and that was C.J. Baxter there on the carry. I believe his first carry of the game, and that was a first down there for Texas. Big first down to keep that drive going. And it says, have a great stream. And, of course, hope the Rising Rhinos doing great there and appreciate you coming through and representing. Samuel said Mississippi State game score. So let's see, what is Mississippi State's score? I have not heard from them today. All right, meanwhile, look at that. The helmets are stuck, so they've got to quickly disassemble that. So, man, I see Florida's now got the lead, actually, 13-10. So that's another SEC matchup to keep an eye out for. Let's see, where is Mississippi State? Who is Mississippi State playing? Let's see, RC says, I don't believe in Notre Dame figured out how to get a fantastic quarterback and a mean defense that won't shrink as teams get better and better. And so, I I understand the doubt at first there, but this team is getting better. They really are getting better week by week. Would not be surprised they make it to the Final Four again this year. Kenneth says Supreme. And so, yeah, RC, your boy tripping. Your boy was tripping. Your boy was tripping. And so, you said, Laney, what's up? And so, Xander, what's good? You said Michigan played poorly, but still got the dub, so you'll take it. Hey, didn't y'all kicker miss like 2 early field goals before making the game-winning field goal? You know, so, hey, hard-fought games, but the important part is to get the W. Not every week is going to be as pretty, but getting the W, that's what matters, right? That is what matters. All right, she says, don't tell Linda I was there. So I won't tell if you don't tell. And you say, like number 6 in the building. Appreciate that. All right, again, here in the first quarter with 10 minutes and 52 seconds to go. And right now, Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns, they are right now within the 20s. So can they come away with 6 points here on this drive? So right now, got everybody spread out. Up there is some movement on the line. So we have movement on the line. Miss Darcy says, my dad's best friend, Andrew, his funeral was early today, JB. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. How long were they best friends? Let's see. San Mississippi State versus Mizzou. Okay, bet. All right, let me see if I can get that one here. All right, so meanwhile, 1st and 15 after the penalty backs up Texas 5 yards here. So now they're at about the 23-yard line. Snaps the ball. Manning pump fakes. Manning on the move, throws it, gets it there. Receiver trying to make something happen after the catch there, and that's actually the running back Wisner with the reception. Picks up some yards there. I see Xander says your Vikings got a home game against the Bears, so we'll see how that goes. Well, tell me, Xander, how do you think that game against the Bears is going to go? Because you guys did beat Chicago the first time y'all played them. So what is the final score you're guessing is going to be against the Chicago Bears, and what do you expect to see? SM says, crazy day in college football today. It really was, and it could have been a lot crazier if some teams would have held on to their late leads. All right, fakes to the back. Manning going to keep it himself there. Manning gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have gained half a yard there. We got 3rd down coming up here. Let's see what she said. For about 1/3 of their lives growing up in the projects. And so, okay, so 1/3 of their lives there, that's a long time there. It's a long time. So I'm sorry to hear that, man. I really am sorry to hear that. I hope that your dad's taking it well. All right, let's see. Xander says, all right, so Xander says 27-19 Vikings. I could see that. I could really see that, you know, whether it's 27-17, 27-20. I think that's a good score. Throws it to the receiver, and the receiver dropped the ball. 4th down coming up. So it was a great drive initially here. Again, the opening drive here of the quarter, but it's going to result in a field goal attempt here as they were unable to get the completion. Even if he got the completion, he still would have had a ways to go to get to that 1st down marker there. But man, you look at that. Now, he might have, yeah, he would have been able to get that 1st down, I think, with his ability. But we'll see here. Field goal attempt to get the first points of the game here. And it's Mason Shipley. 33-yard field goal attempt here for the Longhorns to try to get them the first points of the game from the right hash mark. Kick is up, and the kick, it is good. So tacking on 3 points there for the Texas Longhorns in this one here in the first quarter with 8 minutes and 53 seconds to go. And when we get back from the commercial, we will get to see UGA for the first time offensively in this one and see what Gunnar Stockton and company have in store when they get the football. But again, so far, it has only been Texas offense with the football so far. Let's see. RC said, JB, how did you figure out this was you? And so, you know, when I looked closely, because at first I wasn't able to see, you know, the profile picture. But once I got to see the profile picture, I was like, okay. But man, it's so tough to see without you having, you know, any mention of like Hawkeyes in your title. And see, Tat Ryder, what's good? You say, did you hear what happened at Dixon Mayos? And so your boy did not. I'll give JB a minute, y'all. Let's see. SM says James Franklin to Virginia Tech. I feel like it's a match. It's a match because James Franklin, he'll be able to help restore that program in terms of getting them back to where they can win like 8 games, 9 games, anywhere from 7 to 10 games is definitely possible. Then maybe you might occasionally have like an 11-win season, like just once, I don't know, every 5, 6 years. But he can get them being back to the place where they really want to be right now. And he won't have that pressure because they've shown that they can be dedicated to a coach. As long as you can win them most of their games, they'll be dedicated to you. So I think that's a great match for both sides. There's no reason for James Franklin to try to get one of those bigger, like programs that's going to have the expectations of championships when he won't be able to deliver that. So him, the Virginia Tech, I like it. No offense to Virginia Tech. Let's see, RC said you rebranded the channel. You're doing more theme-based content, so you decided to do something basketball-centric name-wise, and you have 2 recurring episode series going on now. Man, a lot of things has happened since the last time your boy went live, RC, at least in terms of, play-by-play. So I'm happy to hear that. That's what's up. I'm sure you took a lot of thought to think about, that decision. So that's big time. And again, if you're tuning in right now, we're currently at the commercial, so we're not missing anything at all right now. Just here at the commercial. And again, Texas, they did get the field goal. So far, they've only had the football offensively, and we will see UGA with the football for the first time when they come back from the commercial. Let's see, Xander says McCarthy has to play good, and Justin Jefferson needs to get more targets. And also the defense needs to play well, and we need the play calling both by KOC and Flores. So you need better play calling there. Okay. I mean, hey, this is a pivotal matchup here against the Bears here. This is an opportunity to get a sweep against a team in the division. Always important there. And this is a great chance, for JJ to go out there, pick up where he left off at in that 4th quarter against the Bears. Second time seeing that defense. Let's see how he does there. But you're right. The play calling is going to be pivotal in that matchup. As I said, JB said, Caitlin Clark on there, slams table. JB screams, that's RC. And so, yes, I'm used to the Qs being there. For sure. And so, Brayden, Brayhawk, what's good? Brayden says, hey, JB, what's good? We've got Brayden in the building. All right, so no return on the kickoff for UGA. So let's see what Gunnar Stockton and company have in store. So far in the year, Gunnar Stockton almost 70% completion, averaging about 227 passing yards a game, and he has a 15-2 touchdown interception ratio on the season. Now let's see what UGA can do offensively. RC says SM salute. Let's see, Brayhawk says Allen Medicine is probably throwing up right now. He said you'll be joining for him though. And so, oh man. Yeah, I know that this has got to bother him. Back-to-back years losing to Oklahoma, that's tough. And so Gunnar Stockton playing around with the snap there. So he's got to do something. He clearly wasn't ready for that. Now, keep in mind, they talked about, the finger for the center for the UGA, his finger being lacerated and stuff. So he's going through some stuff at the snap. So I wonder how much that's going to impact the day. But let's see what happened here. Clearly Gunnar Stockton was not ready fully for the snap there in that situation. So lucky for them, this did not turn into a turnover there. But that's certainly not how you want your first offensive play to go. But again, let me know, everybody, who are you rooting for in this one? Who's going to win this one, in your opinion? Essence says, what's the word, RC? All right, this time Gunnar Stockton's going to keep it himself. Look at that run. Talking about running up that hill right there. Take it to the 42-yard line and a first down, Gunnar Stockton. And yes, he's going to use his legs. That's what he does. And that time, had the option to give it to the back or keep it himself there, opted to keep it himself there. And of course, the DN went after the running back, made the wrong decision, and Stockton made the defense pay. Let's see, RC says, JB, it gets hard for me to stay completely locked on football when women's college basketball starts. But that's your bread and butter. Exactly. Hey, if that's where your heart's at, that's where your audience is at. So completely understand. Everything else is just a bonus. All right, quick pass to the receiver. Trying to make the DB miss. And he's going to pick up about 3 yards on the reception. Second down coming up. Again, we're here in the first quarter, about 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And Texas is up 3-0. But this is UGA's first offensive drive of the football game. Kenneth says, where is Black Medicine and Old Man at tonight? Good question about Old Man. We'll see if he does show up here or not. Not sure if he's actually going to be working tonight or not, because he does typically work overnight, or maybe he has to sleep for it, but we will see if he does come through tonight. As for Black Medicine, well, Bama's losses means we're probably not going to see from him. Well, we will see. We will see. All right, 2nd and 7. Throws it and gets the completion. Nice completion to take it all away to about the 30-yard line, and a first down for UGA. So will they come away with the first touchdown of the drive? They certainly have touchdown in the brain, and that was a nice throw. That time, clean pocket there, able to throw it out when in the perfect spot. And give credit to the receiver understanding where the coverage is and giving your quarterback a wide window to throw that football at. And so let's see. As I said, JB, did you see the report about Anthony Davis? You know, I've been hearing spurts about Anthony Davis, but I'm not quite sure if I've seen the actual report. I have seen his name trending and stuff. But what's going on with AD? As he says, Brayhawk, what's good? This is JB's burner account. That is not JB's burner. That would be wild. All right, again, UGA 2nd and 10 right now coming up. Both teams making substitutions with personnel. All right, so ball at the 29-yard line of Texas. Receiver goes in motion for UGA. Fakes to the back. Feels the pressure and threw that one up there. Oh, incomplete. Incomplete. Let's see. Brayhawk says, JB, the Pats are for one. Only watch one of the Jets game. You say Drake May is so calm in the pocket and just throws down to his receiver. That's literally how he is. You know, whether he's getting hit or not, he's just so calm. You know, it's like, man, is this real? It's like he's just so calm. JB loves it. Archie said, nah, JB, I like football too. It's just hard to watch all the women's game and all the football games too. I do make room to watch my Cowboys though and Fighting Irish. Yeah, I understand that. I do understand how tough that can be to get all the games in. Meanwhile, talk about getting it in to Bell on the sideline for a first down. Nice catch there. So that's going to be a first down for the Bulldogs, and a pivotal one because we were looking at a 3rd down situation in which if they didn't get that catch, they were going to have to bring out the special teams unit. Yep, got that foot in. All right, 1st and 10. Throws it to the receiver, and oh, look at that. Picks up a yard. A lot of work there for a yard. That time the pressure in his face once again. Offense line's got to do a better job of giving him a little bit more time in that pocket. Brayhawk says, hey, RC, I know that's you. Let's see. You say AD is rumored to be traded at some point. Do they have any ideas in terms of like potential destinations that might make sense? Because I believe I did see something about that, but I was like, man, y'all literally traded away Luka for AD, and now you want to get rid of AD? Help JB understand. All right, 2nd and 9. Stockton throws it, gets the completion for the touchdown, and UGA gets the first touchdown of the game. Just like that. Wow, Noah Thomas, 17-yard receiving touchdown for the Bulldogs. Wow. Let's see. Brayhawk says Iowa choked big time today. Hey, they're not the only team that choked today. You know, South Carolina gets the award for the biggest choke of the day. But you guys certainly did choke, though. That was tough to see. I was actually rooting for your team, Braden. All right, now time for the PAT attempt here for the Bulldogs. And the PAT is good. So now the score right now, Bulldogs 7, Texas 3. Here in the first quarter, 4 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here in the first. So when we come back, we'll see Texas with the football for the 2nd time today. Last time they came away with a field goal, how will they respond seeing UGA come away with a touchdown? Let's see. Also said, JB, what's your favorite sit down in restaurant to eat at? Ooh, that's a very good question, RC, because your boy loves any type of restaurant where it's a all you can eat buffet. Because your boy likes to eat, so I don't mind eating there for that. That's where you get JB excited at. If it's an all you can eat place, I can grab me fried rice, I can grab whatever I want. So that's typically, what JB enjoys the most, probably. That's a good question. Let's see. Some says Lakers weren't happy with his conditioning. Last year he showed up out of shape to camp. I remember that. Lakers felt he wasn't taking care of his body, and that's why he was getting injured so much. Let's see. Brady says the Bulls are rumored to be a team. Oh man, poor AD. And Brayhawk says touchdown Georgia. And again, we are at the commercial here, but again, UGA up 7-3 right now. And looking at some of the matchups today, I see Navy got the win against South Florida, 41-38. Arizona beat Cincinnati 30-24. So those were teams that were teetering towards the bottom of the top 25. Both of them lost in terms of South Florida and Cincinnati. Minnesota did not keep it close against Oregon. I was hoping they would keep it close, but they didn't keep it close when they played yesterday. Clemson was able to beat Louisville yesterday, 20-19. So big loss there for the Cardinals. Georgia Tech able to be victorious in the fourth, 36-34. Miami took care of business against North Carolina State, in which I believe North Carolina State beat Georgia Tech, was it the week before, if I'm not mistaken? Notre Dame took care of business against Pittsburgh. Texas Tech, easy contest for them, 48-9. Oklahoma did beat Alabama 23-21. A&M came back against South Carolina. They were down 30-3 and came back in that matchup. Now, Indiana, they beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin, I think, got the first points of the game in a touchdown, but after that, it was all Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. I see the Buckeyes are up 10-0. Let's see, Utah's beating Baylor 21-7. Ole Miss has reclaimed the lead against Florida 17-14 there in the second quarter. Let's see, Essam said, I said the same exact thing about AD for years. I said he was happy with one ring and was just enjoying living in LA. Thank you, Nico. Hey, but isn't that the truth, though? Isn't that the truth? Some players, that's why there's a difference between good players, great players, and then the elite players. The good players are happy collecting a check. The great players, they want a ring, but once they get one ring, that's it. They feel like they've accomplished it. But the elite players, they are never satisfied no matter how many championships they get. They will go above and beyond just for the next one. They will cut off a finger if it means another ring. They want it that bad. All right, kickoff on the way. And no return here for the Longhorns. Greyhawk says the ACC is wild. All right, again, we are in a good matchup here in which both teams scored on their opening drive. One team was a touchdown in UGA, the other team a field goal in Texas. And SM says that's why Tom Brady is the GOAT. And so, absolutely. To be able to, because to do it in football is just so hard, because the way the salary cap is, you're always changing. You look at all the Super Bowl teams and the amount of changes, When it comes to NBA teams that win multiple championships, you usually see the core stay together. There are times where, obviously, like you think of someone like Kobe Bryant, with the Lakers, first time with Shaq, throughout the first couple of wins, and then afterwards with Gasol. So I get that change does happen. But in the NFL, though, we're talking about a completely different receiving core if you look over the years from time to time. There may be one or two that stick for a little bit, but man, the way that Tom was able to do it, man, insane. And to think, he could have had even more, honestly. If Asante Samuels makes that interception against Eli that first time, he gets another one. It's insane. It's insane. And how he was able to, get some of those championships. And so, hey, what's good? What's good, Laura? Dad, what's good? You say Ohio State's the best college football team? Hey, you can say that again. That is a fact. That is a fact. Absolutely. How long have you been a Buckeye fan? And so Samuel says JB White's blue mod with Brayhawk. And so, yeah, Brayhawk got his promotion. Braden, how long have you been a mod now? How long ago has that promotion been? Let's see. And Laura Dad said that born and raised in Cincinnati. Okay, okay. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. All I want from Ohio State is to keep doing what we're doing, bring home another championship, and let's right the wrong of the last couple of years here, because there's no way that we should be continuing to lose to a certain team that I won't mention. And Braden, I know you're going to do it, but I feel like this is the year. I feel like this is the year that we go ahead and right the ship and go ahead and win a game that we should definitely be winning, and then repeat as champions. That'll make JB extremely happy to see us repeat once again. So, let's see. Yeah, I have not done any promotions lately, Samuel, but we'll see about the future once the next batch of promotions come in terms of that. But right now, I've got more. So I got to grow the channel more is what I'm basically saying. I've got to grow the channel more so that way it makes sense to have more. Let's see. Laura Dad says facts. And so, Greyhawk, I knew you were going to do it, but I appreciate you at least going with the team up north. I appreciate that. Absolutely. But tell me this, Braden, how do you feel about your Green Bay Packers right now, the state of the Green Bay Packers? If you had to give me a percentage in terms of your Packers winning the Super Bowl, what percentage would you give me for your Green Bay Packers? Meanwhile, receiver goes in motion here for the Longhorns, and oh, he gets upended. That's what I'm talking about. Physicality right there. And Jones stuck it to him. Let's see. Missouri's beating Mississippi State 7-3 right now. All right, fakes the toss. Manning throws it to the back. And gonna get close to the first down marker. Let's see where he went out of bounds at. Did he get enough for the first down? They say third and short coming up. So about 3rd and 1. And that was to CJ Baxter there out the backfield. Let's see. Hey, you never know, Samuel. You never know. You never know. Essam said good win by Oklahoma today. Oh, yeah, that was a massive win for them. Meanwhile, pass. Oh, what a hit. What a hit. I like it. UGA is flying to the football right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you raise the bar right there. Because once again, continuously that pressure is getting to Manning. So Manning's got no choice but to get the football up there, out there fast. And when he does, the defense is flying to the guys there. 4th down coming up. They actually lost a couple yards on that completion. Kenneth says maybe Samuel. Brayhawk says, saw in your league, JB, I have the 2nd most combined points behind you. I saw that, Braden. I saw that. Somehow you're 4-6 despite having the 2nd amount of points scored. But I'll tell you what, though, Zoe's team has been crashing as of late because he was doing great up there, too, but his team's crashing. So a couple teams are getting cold. A couple teams are getting hot. Old man's team, I think, has won like 4 out of the last 6. And honestly, I don't know how he does it. But he found a way to get his team to start winning to where if he can beat, I think he plays Zoe this week. If he can beat Zoe, he'll be tied, with Zoe. But I think Zoe would have the points in his favor. But man, just to think about, I thought old man was going to go for the 1st overall pick again with the worst record. But hey, it's been crazy this year. It's been crazy because even the bad teams are not bad this year. RC says that AD is washed up. Says Brayhawk, you're liking all the Iowa women's basketball blowouts. And so Benjamin, what's good? What's good? And do I like football? JB loves himself some football. How about you, Benjamin? Tell me, what are your favorite teams? You know, college, NFL, whatever leagues you enjoy, let JB know your favorite teams. And also, if you like any other sports as well, let me know that also. Would appreciate you coming through today. All right, on the carry there, picks up 9 yards there for UGA. So we got second down coming up. Again, we're still here in the first quarter. We got about 2:05 to go here in the first quarter of play. And right now, UGA with the football up 7-3. But a minute and 54 seconds left to go. 2nd and 1 coming up. Let's see. RC says, JB, man, how you been, bro? Me, myself, I've been in and out of depression and sadness, bro. Is life tough? You said life is not easy. Ain't gonna never be. Gotta fight and not give up. And so, hey, it does present its challenges for sure. For sure. But honestly, JB is feeling a little bit more optimistic now. You know, some good things are starting to finally happen. So JB is feeling more optimistic here. But I feel you completely. He said, JB, your Patriots are riding on a golden shiny carpet like Aladdin. How are you feeling about that? JB is keeping it one game at a time. You know, when we get one W, I'm like, okay, what is our next challenge? Let's focus on that next challenge. We'll see where we are because the AFC has so many good teams. So many good teams to where you can have a great regular season record, get in the playoff, and then get bounced in the first round, second round. So I'm just taking it one game at a time because I'm aware our strength of schedule is easier than probably other teams' strength of schedules, you know. So I keep that in mind, but I'm enjoying the process, just enjoying the ride. All right, 2nd and 4 here for UGA, shotgun formation. All right, so right now, Gunner Stockton making some changes here. They've got about 12 seconds to go, 12 seconds on the play clock, 40 seconds left here in the first quarter, 2nd and 4 here for UGA. Gets the snap, throws it, gets the completion to the receiver, and the receiver going to get brought down at about the 38-yard line of Texas. So again, another nice drive here by UGA, and if they want, they can run out the rest of this time here and end the quarter. Let's see if that's what they're going to do. Let's see. RC says, JB made me a VOD in April of the 4th, the year 1989. Now, JB has not been streaming 4 years before his birth. So, I don't know what kind of talent that would take. All right, so Brayhawk says 30% right now chance, but it will go higher if the offense figures it out. I do think they will, and our defense has been great the last couple games. Also, we need to put McManus on IR. Don't you guys have what? When is Jaden Reed coming back? Do you know when Jaden Reed's coming back? And how big of a difference do you feel that's going to make right now for your Packers offense? Because I believe he's been on IR for a minute, if I'm not mistaken. RC said, JB, you're a futuristic soldier fella. Modding me up before Windows 95. What can I say? A man before his time. You say JB's going to have twins soon? Can't wait, JB. Whoa. Man, RC's the futuristic one here. Let's see, Bragg says, yes, I have RC. They looked really good. Let's see, you say he should be coming back next month? Okay. Well, tell me this, Braden, speaking of your fantasy football team, listen, I'm trying to think how many games do we have left, but what would you say your current playoff odds are just to make the playoffs in our fantasy football league? Because even though you're 4-6, I think in your division, the top person is like 6-4. So as long as you can win your division and get to that 6-4, you know, just tie that person up, you should be good. Let's see. RC says, JB, I got a football question. So do you think Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson will help the Cowboys defense? Will they help the Cowboys defense? Yes, they will help the Cowboys defense. Those are two pieces that should go beyond this defense as you continue to try to build a foundation. Because what you currently were building before was not going to work. It was never going to work. So you scrap that You had to use a pick, obviously, in the Quentin Williams deal, but I like Quentin Williams there. And so I feel like that's a good addition there. You got to look beyond this season, though. Like this season, will they help some? Yes, but there's a lot of holes that need to be filled. But for the future, you've got some pieces that I feel like are excellent pieces. You just keep building around and you're going to get where you want to get. So those are some good players to have right there for your Cowboys. Some good pieces. I'll say that. Now, am I saying that this means the Cowboys are going to go in a deep run? I am not saying that, but it will help the Cowboys. Estim said, JB, what was your worst pick in fantasy this year? My worst pick in fantasy football this year would have probably have to be, is it Isaiah Pacheco? Because I think in Rising Rhinos League, I drafted Isaiah Pacheco. So I think that may be my worst because I actually did really good in my fantasy leagues. Like I've got one fantasy football team that's 10-0 right now. That's my best one in my money league, 10-0. And it's a very competitive league at the top. But I just beat a person that had one loss. I beat another person that had two losses. So my strength of schedule, I guess you could say, is very tough, but I'm 10-0. And then in my own league, I'm 8-2 right now. I'm still first place though, but I've lost 2 out of my last 3, so not happy about that. But last game, it just came down to the other person just playing great. And then my worst league right now is in Rising Rhinos Fantasy Football League, but I think I know I just beat RC's team. But what's my record? It's like I think it's like I know it's above 500. I think it might be like I don't know 5 wins or 6 wins. Something like that. So I'm in the mix. I just probably just outside the playoff picture or either at the very bottom for now. But there's like a ton of people in that league. Like I think 20. Gunnar Stockton throws it, gets the completion, but the receiver, oh, look at him go. Look at him go all the way to the 7-yard line. Let's go. And that's a first down. At first, I'm not going to lie. I was about to say, why is he running backwards? But I get it. If you got that kind of speed, you just do what it do to go ahead and get them yards. Kenneth says, it's RC prediction for us all. RC is life at the moment. Let's see, Brayhawk says a 50% chance. Okay, so he's not out on his team. He still believes there's a chance. And I guess given your schedule, I wonder how many conference games do you have left that could help you, elevate quicker. All right, first and goal, Stockton. Looking, Stockton throws it up there into the end zone, incomplete, but there is a flag. There is a flag on the play. RC says, JB, why your shirts say got yams? He said, and ain't no girls in here, JB acting gay. Come on, RC. Let's see, Brayok says, let you check that. And so, yeah, because I'm already in my money league. Like last week, I clinched a playoff spot in that one. I was the first person to clinch a playoff spot, but I'm trying to clinch that home field so I can get a bye week in the first round. So if I can just beat my opponent this week and then maybe one other team lose, maybe I can clinch that #1 spot either this week or next week. We're doing that good when it compared to some of those other teams. All right, they're going to toss to the back in the back. Trying to stiff arm his way there. Might have picked up a yard purely off of effort there. And again, we're here in the second quarter, 14:05 to go. And again, UGA right now knocking on the door, but Texas, that time they shut it. I see Penn State beat Michigan State. Okay. All right, second and goal here for UGA. They lead this one 7-3. They're trying to get another touchdown here. Let's see how they out and do it. Defense, they're going to bring the heat. They give it to the back in the back. Fighting for what he could there, but he wasn't going to get that. And I think UGA had to understand that Texas, they were not going to let that happen. You're not just going to run it up the middle on them like that. So now you got yourself in a third down situation, third and goal. Let's see what Gunnar Stockton does. Something tells me they're going to put him on the move and allow him to run this one if he sees an opportunity. So put him on the move. Maybe you can find a guy like Delp or something like that in the backfield. Perhaps. All right, so Brayhawk says you play Zoe the last week of the regular season. That's your only conference game left. Okay, what the current slide that Zoe is doing, it could be for the division, but at the same time, old man's balling too, so it's tough. All right, completion into the end zone for a touchdown, UGA. And that was Noah Thomas. Tell me if you heard that one again. Is that like his second receiving touchdown right there? My goodness. Look at that. The few Texas fans out there, they are in disbelief. UGA scores again, 13-3. That was 8 plays, 66 yards, 4 minutes and 32 seconds in terms of time possession off the clock. Man. And now they're going to get ready for the PAT attempt. That's how you come through. Let's see. Brayhawk says touchdown, UGA. Sammy says, I think the Eagles are going to the NFL playoffs. Game out. And so, yeah, I think the Eagles, they're going to make the playoffs. Now, what they do in the playoffs, that's going to be the thing. But, man, it is very evident that A.J. Brown does not want to be an Eagle. He really wants to be a Patriot. So, Eagles better come correct us in the offseason, and let's talk this one out and see if we can, help make A.J. Brown happy. Hashtag make Brown happy. Let's see. Samuel says, I think the Eagles are going to the NFL playoffs. And so, oh yeah, I believe so as well. I believe so as well. All right, again, we are here in the second quarter with UGA getting their second touchdown, up 14-3. So Arch Manning and company, what would they do? I mean, we did see a game a couple weeks ago where they got down big against Mississippi State, and they came back and Texas won that one. Can we expect something similar here? We're going to find out. We are going to find out. Do I think Stevenson is gone after this season? That is a good question. A very good question. In all honesty, I would give a percentage on that one. I'm going to say that there's probably a 57% chance, yes, I think he's gone. But I can also see it's going to come down to him, and is he willing to take the money that is offered to him? That's the only thing. If he's willing to take the money that's offered to him and it makes sense, I can see it working out, but it comes down to what does he want? Because the kid's got a funding problem. He does. So he's got to be realistic with himself. Samuel's going to boo the Eagles quarterback, Jaden Hurts. You don't want a Hurts jersey is what you're saying? Oh, man, don't let 80s find out you said that there. Do not let 80s find out you said that. I wonder when we're going to see Lewis come through again. Typically for Lewis, if he's MIA like that, that means he's burning cash. That means he's won a ton of bets and he's out spending that money vacationing as we speak. I see Florida has reclaimed the lead right now, 21-20. So Florida and Ole Miss going back and forth throwing punches. Let's see, Brayhawk says, UConn up big on BYU. UConn? Oh, wow. I almost, after you're talking about basketball, because that's the only way it would have made sense. It probably is basketball, isn't it? It is basketball. JB's tripping. All these sports. Braden says, it is basketball. So, yeah, after I said that and I look and I saw, yeah, BYU's actually playing TCU. So, yeah, that's right. Okay. But what's the exact score? All right, meanwhile, UGA is going to kick this one off. And, oh, wow, look at the return. Look at the return. Wait a minute. Oh, man, if he'd have just cut to the outside instead of the inside, he might have still been running right now. But what a return. Wow. Sammy says, please not the Eagles going to the NFL playoffs. Out 100%. So he says, please no. He says, don't do it. Please don't do it. All right, let's see. Greyhawk says, speaking of BYU, they have to beat TCU to keep their playoff hopes alive. And so I believe they will do it, but it should be interesting. 55 to 39 is the score. Okay, okay. All right, so here we go. First and 10 right now for the Longhorns. They are trailing 14 to 3 here in the second quarter with 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Their backs against the wall. They're from their own 9-yard line. They're going to motion the tight end in motion here. Snaps the ball. Fakes, gets to the back. In the back, off the right side. Look out. There's already a flag. Already a flag. Referee's like, nope, nope, nope. All right, so a holding call to negate all of that. It's been that kind of night so far here for Texas. Well, look at that. My man was trying to rip that jersey off as if he wanted to take that jersey home with him. Yeah, you can't make mistakes in a situation like that. You get something positive going, can't make mistakes. But here we go. So Arch Manning, what will he do here? Shotgun formation here. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back here. 12:20 to go here in the second quarter. Motions to tight end. Manning in the pocket. Manning throws it over the middle, gets the completion, and the receiver, he is running. Nice yards after the catch on that play and a first down. That's what happens when you get the ball to your playmakers and you just let them go out there and make it do what it do. SM said, start, bench, cut. Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan. So are we talking about them at their peak, SM, or just overall careers? Which one? Because I think my answer will vary if we're talking about at their peak or just their career. At first and 10. Throws it up there. And, he almost caught that one. He almost caught it. That was such a big play. You got to catch that one. Let's see, overall careers, you say? Well, I would have to start. I would have to start. Every time I'm about to say it, I'm trying to remember how long did Cam Newton's peak actually last? Because I know when his peak was up there, it was great. But how long did Cam Newton's peak actually last? I feel like I'm going to say Cam Newton start. I'm going to bench Matt Ryan. And Andrew Luck's career was kind of short there. I know he did good there, but if we're talking overall careers there, I think I got to cut Andrew Luck. Or maybe Matt Ryan. No, I'm going to cut Andrew Luck. I'm going to cut Andrew Luck. And again, I could be wrong without seeing how long their actual peaks lasted. I will say that. Let's see, Sanders says, please, Patriots going NFL playoffs there. So, we'll get there, Samuel. We'll get there. If JB's got to carry them myself, we'll get there. I'll drive them all myself. All right, so 3rd and 10 here for the Longhorns. Will UGA bring pressure? How much will they bring? They are bringing pressure. Manning throws it. Incomplete. 4th down coming up. And so now you've got a 4th down coming up. But that was a tough question there. That was a tough question there, SM, thinking about the overall ones. Let's see, Bray says Mosley has been big for Texas that last couple of weeks. And you said you have to catch it. That was huge because if he catches that, they're in the red zone and we're thinking potentially touchdown. But that drop right there not only takes away points, it forces you to have to punt the ball now. So that was a big drop. All right, so UGA with the football there at the 12-yard line. Yep, but Greyhawk is right. You just got to catch it. All right, so let's see. And again, at the commercial here, and this one, 14-3 is our score. Right now, it's been UGA's favor here. Texas has had opportunities, but it's UGA. SM says, have you made any trades, JB? You know what, SM? Honestly, I did so good with my mock drafts, not to brag, but in 2 of the leagues I'm in, I did so good in my mock drafts. I haven't had to do too many trades. But the one trade that I recently did 2 weeks ago, I traded away Alvin Kamara and Tony Pollard. I traded Tony Pollard because him, Tajay Spears, you know, they're ineffective. They're splitting carries. You don't know who's going to be consistent. And Tajay Spears might end up taking those carries away from Tony Pollard. They thought about trading Tony Pollard during the trade deadline. So wanting nothing to do with that. I traded Alvin Kamara because Alvin Kamara just simply is not getting the touches, or wasn't getting the touches at the time. And so that being said, I took a chance on the trade I did. I took a chance. I paired them together to trade both of them for Terry McLaurin. So that way when Terry McLaurin comes back, I can have one more guy because I don't need to start him. But if he does happen to come out there, get, 10 plus points a game, that'd be a welcome addition. But if not, I'm good. But I just couldn't have the 2 that I got rid of because they're just, inconsistent, can't count on them. And I didn't want to start Alvin Kamara anymore. So that's the trade I made. I tried to trade Daniel Jones since, my other quarterbacks already had his bye week, see what I can get for him, but didn't like any of the offers. So those are the trades I've made so far. What does JB want for Christmas? JB for Christmas. All I want for Christmas, I'm probably going to end up getting myself another Xbox Series X for Christmas, probably. If not Christmas, then early next year. So probably that. But honestly, maybe another big screen TV, honestly. JB loves having a big screen TV, so maybe that might be the next move. Who knows? But something like that is what I'm thinking for Christmas. Let's see. Samuel says, JB, the New England Patriots have won 6 Super Bowl championships. Oh, look at that run there by UGA. This game is going exactly the way that UGA wanted this game to go right now because they are in full control when it comes to momentum here. They're having their ways. Even the run game is starting to open up a little bit here. So they've got a lot going in their favor here with 11 minutes left to go here in the second quarter, and they're up 14-3, facing a 2nd and 2. Quick pass. Brought down, picked up a yard on the play. So now we've got a 3rd and 1 situation coming up here for UGA here in the second quarter with about 10 minutes and 28 seconds left to go to see if they get a first down. Let's see, RC said, I wanted a bald-headed pig and a bow tie for Christmas. You let me know who gets you that, all right? You let me know who gets you that. All right, so let's see. So under 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Again, UGA just picked up a first down. They're moving and grooving right now. And so everything is going their way. They just got to continue to keep doing what they're doing. They're averaging about 5.4 yards per rush right now. Very effective there. They're going to run it again here. And this time, Texas said, nope, you're not going to do it. So they lost a yard or 2 on the play. All right, let's see. Let's see. RC says, JB Dog, what you think about Marshawn Nealon? And so Nealon is what, in his second year? I believe he was like what, a second round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, from last year. And so still young there, but lots of potential, lots of potential. Just got to continue to, go in there and find himself out there, honestly. Oh, pass there, incomplete. Incomplete. Third down coming up. So if you're Texas, this is your chance right here. Third and long. You absolutely cannot let them get a first down. Let's see. Essence said, I saw that coach got shot and killed from the Netflix show Last Chance You. I saw that too, SM. I saw that too because I got the notification, I think, from TMZ. They always send me news first usually. And I was like, no, you said you never watched it, but RIP to him. So yeah, RIP. Insane, insane to be shot and then killed like that. Like, what is going on? I mean, well, completion, but he's going to be well shy of that first down marker there for UGA. Let's see. RC says, I wish people in society really cared about mental illness and mental health. Most people do not care until someone has chosen to remove themselves from the world temporarily. And so that is true. That is true. Like, it's almost a theme to where we're so accustomed to bad news or bad things being done to where some people are just numb to it, honestly. And you got to think about those around, because everybody's, you don't know what a person's battling with, what they're carrying inside. So sometimes, just being nice, going the extra mile, checking in on someone, and just really being there, like not just, sending up like a prayer emoji or something like that, but really truly being there, take the time, call a person, hear them out, what's going on, and just, especially if they open up, continue to be there for them. And so Arcee says JB Nealon isn't alive anymore. He took himself out of the world about 2 weeks ago. And so let's see. Samuel says JB Nealon Patriots have won 6 Super Bowls championships, and so JB enjoyed every one of them. And so Arcee said not temporarily, you meant permanent ending. And so yeah, I got you. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. All right, 4th and 4, so they're going to punt the ball from their own 29-yard line. 8 minutes and 17 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Again, UGA up 14-3, but Texas defense got the stop. And now let's see what they do in the return here. All right, they got to get away from the football. There it is. CRC said, JB, whenever I have thoughts about not wanting to be here anymore, I try to think about what I can be grateful and thankful for. And so, I mean, yeah, because you always think about those that are, that need you, that's around, and how it would impact them. And then not only that, just always got to have something to be hopeful for. That's what's really big, when things are seeming dark, just having that thing to look forward to is so important. Finding ways to find small ways to laugh, like small things that you can regularly do that essentially helps you put your mind at ease. It's very important, especially when the storms are storming, and they tend to storm a lot lately. All right, so let's see. Let's see. She says halftime now. He says, JB, who you got for the Super Bowl? So right now, who do I have for the Super Bowl? That is such a great question because it's ultra competitive. And the AFC is so hard to figure out right now because there's a lot of good teams out there right now. And so, as of right now, I would have to say in the NFC, if I had to really pick, I would say, because it's tough. I'm going to say right now in the NFC, I would go with the Rams. You know, I feel like right now Matthew Stafford is playing at an extremely high level. So I would go with the Rams there. And in the AFC, it's very close because there's really three teams that I really give a strong chance to. So I guess I can be a little biased with that. So right now, I would say Patriots versus Rams right now if I had to pick for right now because the AFC, I feel like it's just going to come down to matchup after matchup. It could be the Broncos that get there. You know, it could be, obviously the Chiefs are always in contention for it. You know, it could be a newcomer. You know, you just never know. But I feel like the Steelers won't get there at the end of the day. Indianapolis won't get there, I feel like, at the end of the day. So Buffalo's not getting there. So Broncos are a possibility, Chiefs are a possibility, and I throw in the Patriots. So I'm going to go with my team. Meanwhile, for the Longhorns, nice completion. I feel like this would be almost like deja vu of like going back to 2001 when the Rams and the Patriots played. Like literally, I can see the similarities between the teams. Obviously, there's some differences, but that's what I'm thinking. RC says JB's Lakers are still garbage. Come on now, RC, we're working hard. We're making it do what it do. And meanwhile, that would be a first down, pending a penalty. Let's see, but I think this was coming back. You think they're going to call a hold? I didn't even know Florida State was playing right now. Let's see. RC says, Chiefs versus Broncos tomorrow. Who do you think wins it? You say you missed the Wednesday show. And so I chose the Kansas City Chiefs to win that one. Because something about the heart of a champion understands at this time of the year how to win these tough matchups. As for the Broncos, they keep trying to run the ball to disguise the fact that something's going on with their pass game. They're having kind of similar issues to what the Eagles have been having with their pass game and stuff. Quite frankly, Bo Nix throws the ball to Troy Franklin too much, in my humble opinion, and not enough to Courtland Sutton, but that's a whole different thing. And now you're telling me no J.K. Dobbins, possibly for the rest of the year? I think Kansas City understands the urgency for this one. They're used to big games. The Chiefs will beat the Broncos because the Broncos will try to keep it a low-scoring game, and that will be dangerous against this Kansas City Chiefs team. SM says the Rams and Patriots would be a great matchup. Let's see. Brayhawk says Florida up 24-20. Lane Kiffin, you better not lose to your new team. You're right about that. Absolutely. Let's see. RC says JB is a closet Grizzlies fan. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. SM says they're my Lakers too, RC, and once LeBron leaves, they'll be able to build a serious team around Luka. Believe it. All right, play fake. Looking, throws it. Gets the catch. Should be a clean catch there. And a first down with 6:45 to go here in the second quarter of play. Again, UGA up 14-3. Rayok says Broncos and the Packers are basically the same. Let's see. You say J.K. Dobbins can't catch a break. Seriously, because I mean, he's good. He really is good. The problem is he's hurt. He's always hurt. And that's always been the only issue with him because he can really run that ball. He's just always hurt. And I'm sad for him. I really am. But it's an opportunity for Harvey to get going in that backfield and see what he can do in the backfield for the Broncos. All right, 2nd and 4. Arch feeling the pressure, throws it incomplete. Third down, coming up 3rd and 4. Let's see. Brayhawk says, JB, you better be thanking Nico Harrison for your life. And so, hey, I'm very thankful of that. You know, it cost him his job, but it gave my Lakers new life. So you're right about that. Absolutely. I'm hoping that your Golden State Warriors will employ Nico so that way you guys can stop being a thorn in my team's side for a change. Let him trade Stephen Curry. 3rd and 4. Oh, he threw an interception right to him. Oh my word. What was he doing? Dang, that's terrible. And RC said he liked the Kobe Lakers and he left when he left. And so, oh man, those are fun times. We may never experience times like that again in terms of just purely what that meant to me, those teams. And so Brayhawk says, Pick shaking his head. And so Savage, what's good? Say you're an Arkansas fan. Anybody got a team you should root for right now? And so, hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. How about them Razorbacks? How about them Razorbacks? Absolutely. Let's see. But appreciate you coming through. Let's see. RC says JB Braden smells like cow sweat and frog spit. Oh man, not Brayhawk. How you gonna do Brayhawk like that? Let's see. Braden says no, JB, please no. I'm just saying he might can help. He might can help. Let's see. Braden says RC. And he said, right now you hate the Razorbacks right now. I feel you, man. I feel you. What exactly do you want to see change? Like what area on the football team needs to be changed? I only watch a couple Razorback games. I know you guys played, what, LSU today? I think I glanced for like a minute or two, and when I watched, it was somewhat close, but man, I don't even know how that game ended. He said, you guys can't win a game? Oh, man, that's tough, man. That's tough. Because when I think about the Razorbacks, like back, I remember when the Razorbacks used to have, what was that running back? Darren McFadden. I remember those days when they had guys like Darren McFadden, all those guys in the backfield. It's time for the Razorbacks to come back up. He said you want to see a coaching change and you guys need to spend more money on players. It's the only way to compete. The only way to compete, really. But I wonder, like, realistically, what's a coach or who is a coach that you could identify that you would like to see the Razorbacks go after and sign? Because that's a good question. Who could lead the Razorbacks back to being a top 10 team? That would be fun. And hey, it's possible. Since I've seen lately teams like Nebraska become competitive every once in a while and stuff, it is very possible for the Razorbacks to get back to their bread and butter. For me, I feel like the Razorbacks need a coach who's going to reinstall that offensive line of what the Razorbacks used to have. And from an offensive line, then you build on out. But they need a coach that's going to come in and emphasize that offensive line for the Razorbacks. It has to be a strength. It can't be a weakness for the Razorbacks to be great. There's got to be a strength. And again, here in the second quarter with 4:37 to go here in a second. Punt on the way by UGA. See if we get a return here or not. No, the ball's going to actually go out of bounds there. Sammy says, I think NCAA college football playoffs start on day. When is the start date for that? Let's see, Savage says your quarterback throws interception in the red zone when you could possibly be up 2 touchdowns. You can't have that. You need a quarterback that's going to protect the rock. What year is your quarterback currently in? Like, is he like a junior or something? Because I think I've seen him last year too. So is he like a junior or a senior? Might be time for him to move on. Let's see. I said, JB, I just walked in the house of Ohio State versus UCLA. UCLA is on. You say, who put Ohio State on? It's 24-0. Well, I appreciate the update, honestly. I really do. I appreciate the update. All right. So now Arch Manning throws it, gets the completion into the back. It's going to be about 4 yards shy of that first down marker. As he says, you would love to have James Franklin. Hey, that would be nice. It'd be nice to see how he compares there in the SEC. SRC says, can UCLA come back, JB? I'm going to answer that for you. That's a no. That is a no. Speaking of no, UGA just said no on that end around. Texas lost 2 yards. So now another third down coming up right now with 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go here in the second quarter of play. So can the Longhorns get the first down here? So that time, tried to get it around there. I see what they did. They put the tight end there, pretend like he was going to go inside, bounce it out for the block. It just wasn't happening. UGA said, look, we're just going to get straight to the point. We're not letting that happen. Jesse Kenneth says, what are my thoughts about the new rules in college basketball? I honestly have yet to really watch college basketball this season. So JB is right now slacking, but I typically start watching once conference plays start. So you got to fill me in on exactly what the new rules are there. But I typically start watching once conference play starts. Leslie Savage says, if Indiana can become a powerhouse, you believe that you guys can too? Indiana, when they signed the coach that they currently have, it was just something about him, seeing the past success that he had in his demeanor. I knew that he was going to have success. I just didn't know it's going to be that quickly and to this level. But to be number 2 in the country, you're right. The right coach will bring in the right players and stuff. Absolutely. There is no greater sign that you have the right coach than to have a coach that brings in the right pieces. And you see that, you will feel that immediately. That's how you know he's the right coach. Let's see, SM said, Jamie, do you consider Darren McFadden a bust? I do not consider Darren McFadden a bust because Darren McFadden, although he did not live up to expectations, he was not someone that was a failure. He was a guy that you probably, on a good year, probably could have got 1,000 yards out of him. You know, so someone like that I would not consider a bust. A bust, by definition to me, is Jamarcus Russell. That's the very definition of what a bust is. But I feel like Darren McFadden could have been serviceable. You know, that's just how it is. Sometimes you draft the guy in the first round. Because I remember Sony Michel. You know, Sony Michel, Patriots drafted him in the first round. They won a Super Bowl with him, yes, but Sony Michel, he was not him. But he was a piece to the puzzle. So he became a piece. You just probably drafted him a little bit earlier than you wanted to. But a bust is someone that just flat out just thinks the bad, just terrible. You can't use him. You can't put him on the field. He ends up in the Canadian Football League, no offense to them. Ends up in the UFL, something like that. Now that's a bust. Let's see. Raven says, JB, will we Shane Beamer get fired tomorrow? Well, that's a good question. I'm gonna say no, but that's a good question. Oh, see, they're showing Buckeye highlights here. I'm tripping. My eyes are tripping. I thought I saw Devin Brown back there. I was like, wait a minute. I thought Devin Brown left. I'm tripping. I need a bigger screen for sure. All right, play fake, throws it. Gets the completion. And a first down. All right, so we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. Right now, UGA up 14-3. Let's see, Savage says he's a senior, thankfully. Oh, man. You know what? I feel for you guys, because you guys, the quarterback before him, wasn't it, what's his name? RJ Jefferson? Was he not the quarterback before down there at the Razorbacks, I think? And, man, I know you had to be ready for him to leave. I think he had transferred, though, before he graduated, but he was with the Razorbacks at some point. Another carry here for about 3-4 yards. Brayhawk says, go for it. Savage says, only thing we can hope on is us being good in basketball and baseball. Hey, basketball is fun to see the Razorbacks play. I will say that. The SEC is fun to watch, but football, not so much at the moment. RC says, Lakers 54, Bucks 32. Oh, man, I didn't even realize that was a score. Keep JB up with that one. Let's go. All right, but 2 minutes to go here before we reach halftime, and UGA up 14-3. All right, Savage says, Darren McFadden the playing style didn't go well in the NFL, but he's a top 5 in college football, got robbed of the Heisman. But he did make the cover, or at least one of the cover guys on NCAA football back in the day, so I'll give him that. But you're right. You're right. That style did not translate well. But I wouldn't call the man a bust, though. I wouldn't. As it says, JB, you mean Jamarcus Ruffles? Because he loved to eat. SM says, Zach Wilson. There you go, a guy like Zach Wilson. RC says, Zachariah Wilson. Let's see, Savage says, KJ Jefferson, man, you miss him. I'll tell you what, any quarterback that can make Trey Burks look decent, I got to tip my hat to him. I got to tip my hat to him. But I do feel like his last year with the Razorbacks, in which he actually played with the Razorbacks, that offensive line was so bad, he couldn't even look down the field. Because I remember thinking to myself, KJ Jefferson, he showed some, like he was good. I thought he was good. But then I saw the offensive line, he had no time. So they could have really done, better by him by getting him an offensive line his last year with the Razorbacks. They said, JB, did Russ play himself out of the Hall of Fame? Honestly, I'm going to say that Russ did not play himself out of the Hall of Fame because to me, Russ should never be considered in the Hall of Fame, in my humble opinion. But I'm sure that most people did consider him in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to say he actually did. His reputation is very bad. He's left a bad taste in terms of people's minds, in terms of what they see. So sometimes it's better than just sit it out, especially if your peak was like just very short, I would say. I shouldn't say too short there, but the fall off was hard. I mean, he might have to wait a whole, who knows, a whole lifetime. Maybe at some point, who knows, but I think he played himself out of it. Sasha Florida's getting Ole Miss a hard time. Everything that they can handle, man. Everything that they can handle. All right, so let's see. Savage says, but we should have best LSU today. Turnovers killed you guys. You wanted that trophy back in Fayetteville. Oh man. Hey, what was the final score though? I really had not seen how that game ended. Kenneth says UConn's up 66-53 right now in college hoops. Okay. R said I'm waiting for that game after this one, JB and Kenneth. He said South Carolina versus USC. Jesse Savage says, our offensive line this year is so good. They may take so they're looking good this year. Okay, that's good. Well, hey, now y'all just missing someone like a KJ Jefferson. If the offensive line is good, and of course I know, most people probably don't know off the top of their head there, but how many linemen do you feel like in terms of eligibility wise may potentially return next year? Because if you've got a core piece on the offensive line, you just got to get the current quarterback out if he's not him, and then go on from there. But offensive line is so important because if you're in the same conference as teams like A&M, South Carolina, UGA, I mean, they got D linemen, so you have to have an offensive line. You just have to in the SEC. That's a must. Right, so RC said Russell Wilson or Russell. I'll go Russell Wilson, Mr. Triple Double. Mr. Triple Double. Now, did he burn my team? Yeah, he wasn't a good fit there. But back in the heyday, Russell Westbrook, he was out there breaking records. Russell Wilson was out there breaking hearts. In the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks, he broke their hearts because Pete Carroll decided to trust him to pass the ball just so that way Marshawn Lynch wouldn't have to give a speech after the game if he would have gave the ball to Marshawn for the game-winning touchdown. And I'm ever so thankful that he did that decision. All right, quick pass there. Completed. Savage says, in your favorite NFL team's the Titans, so you're going, oh my goodness, Savage. You're down bad right now. The Tennessee Titans, man. Hey, I'm going to say this, though. I like Cam Ward's demeanor. I know his rookie year is not looking that great. The team's losing left and right. It's looking bad right now. But I do believe that what I saw from the kid in college, his work ethic and his demeanor, as in when he takes a hit, he still stands strong in that pocket. He's not being rattled. He's not flinching. He's still trying to rally the troops. I can see what he's doing. So you give him a good coach. You give him some pieces around him. I think Cam Ward can be a good quarterback in this league. I really do. So I really hope that they put some pieces around him and really help, because right now my man's got no help. No help whatsoever. But that's about as good as I can say there for Tennessee. I am slick upset though that the owners being petty about not trading Tony Pollard to the Patriots or Arden Key, like just because she didn't like Mike Vrabel, like it was their decision to fire Mike Vrabel. So, but yeah. Kenneth says 23-22 LSU. Oh man, that's a heartbreaker there. That's a heartbreaker. All right, good fourth down. Let's see. Savage says 3 of our offensive linemen are seniors. Ooh, 3 of them are seniors there. All right, so you got to replace those 3 guys there. But hey, that's what the portal's all about. If you offer the right amount of NILs and stuff, you will get some good replacements. But offensive line is where it starts each and every year. Archie said, JB, is your YouTube TV straight now? And so, yeah, like I got the notification that they worked out everything with like Disney. So channels like ESPN, ABC, all of those channels restored, which is why I can cover a game like this. So I think they worked it out yesterday. Late yesterday, I think is when I got the notification. Savage, I didn't want to say it now. I didn't want to say about the transfer portal now. But I'm hoping that you guys are able to utilize it so that when you gain talent as opposed to, losing it. Savage says, you love Cam Ward. They're calling him a bust, but the team around him is horrible. The team is horrible. To me, Will Levis, it was very evident that Will Levis was a bust. Why? Because Will Levis could only do one thing, and that was just chunk it up there deep towards, at the time, DeAndre Hopkins, and then let Hopkins do the hard work and make the catch. And if Hopkins wasn't making a catch, Will Levis was not going to move the football. That was pretty evident. He couldn't read defenses. Cam Ward, he has a nice throw. He just got to learn sometimes to take the shorter stuff. Don't always try to make the big play and stuff. But when your team's always down 10, 20 points, you tend to do that. So I understand that. But with the right coach, I feel like he's got the tools to make it work. But man, UGA getting Arch Manning for the sack, put him on his back. Look at that. Let's see, Top Savage says, and your NBA team is the Grizzlies, so you guess you should just stop watching sports, not the Grizzlies too. Savage, this ain't the year. This ain't the year, but you know what? The best thing about being a sports fan is that even if the teams aren't where you want them right now, there's always next year to look forward to. But for the Grizzlies, though, talk to me. What's going on with Ja Morant here? I have not watched really any Grizzly games, to be honest, this year. But what's going on with Ja Morant and the Grizzlies right now? If you can explain that situation to me, that would be appreciated there, because I just don't understand it. I don't. And let's see, RC says, he, being Pete Carroll, thought his quarterback name was Russell Montana. Well, then he probably should have been checked for a concussion. And so, Lil Chris, what's good? What's good? You say you got money on UGA? Oh, well, for your sake, I'm hoping that UGA come out and win. Is it just straight up for UGA to win, or do they need to win by a certain amount of points there? Let me know how that works out. But I'm hoping you get that W and cash out. I said, JB, I haven't announced it publicly, but you said, yeah, but I'm leaning towards this owning the Aces. You said, championship be damned, I don't like them anymore. But again, just haven't announced it everywhere. Holding on barely. When it comes to being a fan of a team, there are some times where it feels like, well, I'm not speaking for myself personally, but I have seen circumstances where it's like, hey, you're just not feeling the same vibe as they were before. Maybe something's changed, the culture changed, whatever it is. And you rather just take a different journey. That's perfectly fine. That's what we love about being a fan, right? We get to make that decision every year. Meanwhile, we are at halftime right now. UGA will get the football first in the second half. UGA is leading this one 14-3 right now. So UGA looking good. But if you're Texas, you're still just down 14-3. So if you can come out swinging in the second half, and we've seen Texas do a little bit of that, earlier in the season. So they certainly are capable of it. Let's see what the second half has in store. RC said, Ja Morant looks cooked. And so what do I think? Let me see what Savage has to say first there. He said, I would give anything to have the 2006 year back in the SEC championship and us beat Florida and not get screwed by the refs. Oh man, Savage, reminded JB of the hurt and the pain. You see, because I remember it clearly, back then, in which that would have been a perfect year to have a college football playoff top four, but not knowing who Tim Tebow was at that time prior to the game, really, in terms of like what he was going to become and stuff, and then to be exposed. But you know what I feel like really hurt the Buckeyes there? I know it was one player getting hurt, but it was a significant injury at that time, and that was when Ted Ginn Jr. got hurt. He scored the opening touchdown. He was explosive. So when he left, I felt like that was a big, major disadvantage there. And then once Florida got momentum, it just got crazy. It just got crazy. So, but yeah, if only we could have those back, right? Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the Razorbacks there. I was thinking about the Ohio State Florida college football championship game there. But yeah, that pain too. But that's JB's pain. Savage says, you think Ja wants out of Memphis? Is it just Ja wanting out of Memphis, or is it Memphis also kind of sort of wanting to be done with Ja, you think also? Is it both ways or just on Ja? As he says, as an Arkansas fan, since 1992, it's heartbreaking every year, so I think we have the toughest fans. And so, oh yeah, it has been some major heartbreaks for sure. Major heartbreaks there. But you got to get, who is that guy that's going to come in and really stabilize the program? That's the most important thing there to get you where you want to be. Because a team like the Razorbacks, you guys should honestly be a top 20, top 15 team consistently. I know the SEC is tough, so that's why I say, top 20 and stuff. But you guys should be up there. So that would be great. As I said, a lot of your favorite Aces players are gone, and it's hard to move past it. And so, yeah, I mean, because that's the reason that helped you fall in love with them in the first place. And then when you see the band disperse, that's tough. That's tough. As he says, you think Laney fell asleep? She's gonna call you out for that, Samuel. Essam says, Ja to Minnesota. Who would Minnesota give up though? You say both ways. I mean, it has to be that way, honestly. It has to be. That window that was there early on, the excitement and stuff, like right now, they're just feeling the problems part of it now, like the issues, the whinings and stuff. Where's his mental head at? Like, is he really focused? All that stuff. So, but with every talented player, there reaches a point where the team is like, you know what? We don't care how talented you are. We just are tired of dealing with you. Antonio Brown figured that out the hard way. Now, AB's got some stuff going on for real, but I'm going to leave it at that. But hey, at some point, both teams can use a fresh start. The question is, who really wants to get Ja Morant right now? Essence said, Ja was supposed to be the face of the league a few years ago, but it's been downhill ever since. When you're the face of the league, there's a reason why LeBron was the face of the league for as long as he was, Kobe was. You didn't have to question where their mind was off the court. You knew that they were fully committed. There wasn't these, oh, why is he doing this? Oh, he's got to apologize for this. There was none of that. If you're the face of the league, you have to be that. I'm not going to say like the model player and stuff like that, but off the field, there can't be questions about what are you doing and stuff like that. Not to say that Ja Morant really was doing anything that was all that bad in all honesty, but it's just the image of it. The league cares so much about his brand, his image. So that window is past. As he Savage says, who is your favorite team? And so, hey, my favorite team in the NBA is the Lakers. That is my favorite team. And so how I chose the Lakers, it goes back to, I think it was, like as a kid, NBA Live 19, I want to say it was 98. NBA Live 98, I want to say. And so I was looking through the rosters, and I had to choose for myself between the Lakers and the 76ers. Those were the two teams that I was making the decision between. And I chose the Lakers because they had Kobe and Shaq, as opposed to 76ers really just had Allen Iverson, and it's like two is better than one. So that's what really got my focus on the Lakers. And since then, been a Laker fan since. As the Essence says, yep, downhill from ever since for him. Laney says, you know, I don't ever go to sleep. I just watch the game and read the comments. I told you, Samuel, she's going to call you out for that one now. And by the way, Laney, I know Tennessee got that W today. I got to take a look and see the rest of the schedule for Tennessee. But, man, it's just so sad that you guys lost to Oklahoma the way that you guys did. Because if you guys would have beaten Oklahoma, Tennessee would have been in a very good, spot in terms of college football playoffs. Let's see. Brayhawk says BYU has come back and now it's 73-68 UConn with about 4 minutes left. Okay, Brayhawk. Savage says, what about college football team? For me, the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Ohio State Buckeyes. And for me, I became a Buckeye fan back when the Buckeyes beat the Miami Hurricanes in the championship game because my father's a Hurricanes fan. So when his team lost in the championship, I became a Buckeye fan because of that. So Samuel says, LOL. Laney says, Florida and Vanderbilt. Good old Vandy. Florida and Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt right now is kind of sort of teetering right now. They're not playing as well as they were before, but quite sure they've had some tough competition as well. That has a lot to do with it also, and they're still playing good. And right now, Florida, they're a team that you probably don't want so much on your schedule because record-wise, it doesn't look great if you beat them, but they're playing much better than their record is, and so they're a tough team for anybody. So you don't get much reward for beating them, but they are a tough team to beat. Let's see. Savage says, can we trade our 1962 national championship and you guys give us Ryan Day? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. The best I can do for you, in all honesty, why don't you guys try to make a run for someone like Matt Patricia after this year? Matt Patricia, our defensive coordinator, former Patriots defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator one time. But maybe Matt Patricia might be able to help you guys. Maybe, maybe not. It's a risk, but you guys may need to take a risk, perhaps. And so RC says, Samuel. Mr. JB says the referee beat the Hurricanes. Well, the referees don't get to host the trophies. Wayne says we play Florida next week. Where is it going to be at? Is it going to be at Tennessee or is it going to be in Florida? That's going to be a very, very good game this year. Or as you said, wait, North Carolina State won though? And what sport? Can't be football. It can't be football. Because they played the Hurricanes, so ain't no way they won today. They got beat, so it had to be basketball you're talking about. You said, JB, do you think it's a lot of parity this year in college football? I do. In all honesty, I do. Because when we're discussing the top, 12 teams, top 15 teams, there's so many different ways you can list it. Gone are the days where you just staple at the top Alabama, right after them, maybe someone like a UGA and stuff like that. And after that, in Ohio State. And then, like, back in the day, we would know the order. We would know who were the top teams for real. But now, there's just so much. I think about the Oklahoma-Alabama game. Oklahoma's beating this team now 2 years straight, but Bama came in ranked so high and stuff, And then there's teams like, A&M that struggled against the South Carolina and barely came back to win. There's just so much. I mean, Notre Dame, how good are they really? We saw them early in the season start off 0-2, but since then, look at them. You just never know. Florida State had everybody thinking that they were about to turn it around this year just to get turned around again and back to mediocre. So you got to love it. Hurricanes, people were telling me that the Hurricanes are the top team in the country. Then they messed around. They've lost 2 since then. So, yeah, there's a lot of parity in college football, but that's why we love it. Savage says, you think we can get Marcus Freeman? And so I wouldn't go that far, Savage. I don't know how much money you guys would have to offer him, but something tells me that everybody in the state's going to get involved and say that's too much money. If you can make him a billionaire, that might be your best bet to get a Marcus Freeman. Yes, Samuel says, NCAA college football playoff start date. Yeah, let me know if you find that one out. Let's see, Laney says, it's also it's going to be at Florida there, so on the road, tough environment there. That's going to be a tough challenge there for Tennessee, not going to lie, tough challenge there. But Tennessee, they can do it. They can do it. Laney says, you think December 19th? Okay, okay. And so Mike, what's good? Mike says, listening. Mike, what's good with you? Let's see. Samuel says, JB, I think NFL playoff games start in December. And so, yeah, December seems right, honestly. That seems about right. But yeah, got to see that first date. And so let's see. Eli says, what's good? What's good? And again, still right now, currently at halftime here. So still at halftime. Savage says, we have money like anyone else, just can't spend it. Spend it, our owner sucks. And so, man, that's the worst thing that can happen is when you are a fan of a team and you have an owner that does not know what they're doing and they just act like they get to pocket the money is what they act like. They don't never spend it right. They make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. You know, I'm talking about Jets owner in the NFL, New York Jets. Terrible, would not want that situation. Cleveland, because they can't seem to do nothing right. You know, you overpaid for Deshaun Watson. That did not work out at all. Some teams are consistently messed up because of ownership. That can be a tough hurdle to overcome. So she says, Laney, I am considering publishing this video I just did 20 minutes ago where I was venting 2 funerals today. A lot of mental health woes for me mentally as well. You said life has been tripping hard lately. Well, tell me this, RC. Nothing makes us feel better than a little bit of food, right? So what is the game plan you have for Thanksgiving? If you've already planned that out in terms of Thanksgiving, what's the move? Are you going to be the one hosting Thanksgiving? Where will Thanksgiving be hosted at? Let your boy know. Man, Jeremiah Love rushed for 147 yards on the ground. It could have been way more. CRC says, oh, like me being a Cowboys fan and Jerry Jones driving me up a damn cliff. You say, like, dude, get your see, the difference with Jerry Jones is that Jerry Jones, he just likes to make headlines. You know, I say this all the time. I tell this to my dad occasionally when he's playing video games. I'm like, sometimes you having success, you know, calling plays calling bad plays, but it working out. Sometimes that does you a lot more harm than it does you good. Like, yes, in the moment, it feels good to score that touchdown. But if you build bad habits, when you need to have those good habits, it's just not going to work out. For Jerry Jones, when he took over the Cowboys, he had fast success. And ever since then, no one can tell him nothing because he still feels like he is the guy that was able to make it all happen and stuff like that. So therefore, it is tough to work with someone like that who's just going to oversee everything. He wants to make the headlines there, so it's a circus show and stuff. You'll win games. You'll sell tickets. But will you bring home Super Bowls again? It's going to be very tough. Very tough. Let's see. Laney says, yeah, we'll watch it and comment on it like you usually do. Hey, that's what's up. Samuel says, all right, you want me to see the college football playoff start date? All right, let me go ahead and look real quick. Give JB a minute here. Let's see. All right, so yeah, so that's going to be December the 19th and December 20th. It's going to be like the first round of the game. So December 19th is that date. December 19th. Let's see. SM says, JB, does USC have any chance against Oregon next week? I'm going to say yes. USC has a chance against Oregon. They really do. Iowa should have beaten Oregon. They should have. USC is fully capable of beating the Oregon Ducks. Now, whether or not that happens, I will see. But I feel like if I had to put a percentage on it, I give USC probably I'm going to say about a 44% chance of pulling off that upset against Oregon. I think USC has what it takes. Because ultimately, you play Oregon tough. It'll be in the fourth quarter. It just comes down to the quarterback in the fourth quarter for USC making the clutch plays to ice the game and get the W. That's what it's going to come down to. If he can do that, awesome. But yeah, I expect that one's going to be a little closer than people think heading into it. Let's see, Laney says, I'm going to try to make sweet potato pie since you never had one before. Laney, I'm telling you, you're going to love that sweet potato pie. I'm telling you. You get you one of those Patti LaBelle sweet potato pies, and it's going to change your life. It may not change your life, but you will definitely add it moving forward. You will. If it's made right, you will definitely love it. I remember introducing Mike to that one a couple years ago. He loved it. I loved it. Introduced it to my wife. She loves it. So sweet potato pie is amazing. I'm surprised more people don't talk about it, honestly. Let's see, Archie says, JB, we are going to a banquet hall where all the family is bringing different dishes to the event. Okay, what dish are you going to bring? And that sounds great, man. That sounds great. That sounds great. To be connected with the family, that's got to be something to look forward to for real. Catch up with everybody. And just really reflect on 2025. But man, 2025, they threw some obstacles in 2025. I am not going to lie. 2025 has thrown some obstacles. Esm says, unpopular opinion, but you think Jerry made the right move trading Mika. And so it is the right move because it was the right move for the Cowboys because they were not going. You know, I'm going to say this. What Jerry Jones did was the complete opposite of what the Cincinnati Bengals did. Cincinnati spent all that money to where they have no money to fix their real problems. Jerry Jones is like, look, Micah Parsons is not, we cannot allocate that kind of money to him. So let's go ahead, move on, bring in some pieces there. Now, at first, everybody's like, why are you trading Micah Parsons? Why are you trading Micah Parsons? But in hindsight, it was a move that they had to make. So I will give him credit for that. If there's one thing about Jerry, he's learning, don't just write them checks. Don't just write them checks. That's what I said. I prefer not to go, but you want to eat. So you really don't want to go? I feel like that'd be a fun time, you know, get together with the fam and stuff. And of course, food. Keyword there being food. You know, everybody get to wear the family shirt. Make some memories. And so it says they're showing UConn versus BYU on my TV, and you can care less. So I'm waiting for the USC versus South Carolina women's basketball game is about to start. He's like, move this stuff off my TV. All right, let's see. Sammy says NCAA College National Championship game in Miami, Florida. Sammy says he's going to drive to the championship game. We will drive to the championship game. Let's see, RC says, yes, Iowa, we should have beat Oregon, but our offense is pathetic as hell, JB. I was watching that game like, come on. They're beatable. Ridiculous offense. And that has been the Achilles heel there for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They just don't have a quarterback to win those type. They really, literally, if they had someone equivalent to, let's say, what Texas A&M has at quarterback, if they had a guy like that at quarterback, they would legitimately be a college football playoff team without question if they had a quarterback of that caliber with everybody else, with everything else being the same. Someone that could run, because they're going to need someone to run there because I'm not quite sure how the receivers really are, but someone that can elevate that offense. That's what they need. But what they currently have, man, they're just playing to just try to make a decent bowl game at this point. RC says you got no idea what you want to bring yet. Well, as JB's recommending to everybody, why not a sweet potato pie? Samuel says JB pinning Happy Thanksgiving to Happy Thanksgiving Day. And so, hey, JB's looking forward to it, man. JB's looking forward to it. JB, go get that turkey, that mac and cheese, that dressing, potato salad. Everything JB's doctor says I should not be eating will be on Thanksgiving. Or said, JB, it's time for Perez to go. That is true. That is true. That is true. I mean, it's just one of those things where, I was looking at Oklahoma State for the longest with Mike Gundy back in the day, and I'm like, hey, when are we gonna move? When are you guys gonna move on? Some teams are content. I feel like they understand they're not going to be atop the conference. They just want someone that's going to keep them relevant and keep them good. So it really comes down to the expectations of the team. Because for some teams, winning 9 games, that is great. For other teams, it's a nightmare. All right, so we're about to start the third quarter. It honestly felt like halftime was very long, in all honesty. Seriously said, JB, I'm better at cooking savory dishes unless it's a cake or banana pudding dish. Ooh, banana pudding. You might be onto something there, RC. You might be onto something. All right, the return here for UGA. Look at him. He's still running. And he gets out of bounds at about let's see where they mark him out at, but it's somewhere around the 48 or the 47-yard line. But man, what a return there by Branch and UGA picking up where they left off at. Sammy says he's ready for Thanksgiving Day. Alfred, you're going to go to Golden Corral Buffet and Grill in Flowood, Mississippi. Okay. Sammy said he's going to pay for everybody. Well, tell me this, Sammy, who all will be going with you in terms of it's going to be extended family, immediate family. You guys probably going to have to reserve 6, 7 tables. Shotgun formation here for UGA. First run play of the game, and he's going to lose a yard on the carry. Second down coming up here for UGA. Going to lead this one 14-3. Let's see. RC said halftime only took 91 years. You ain't lying, RC. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I kept looking up to make sure that maybe I was just talking in the game that started, but it's like, no, it is actually still currently. It was still at halftime, but thankfully we're in the third quarter here. All right, receiver goes in motion, going to throw it to the back of the backfield, and the back is going to take it to about the 47-yard line of the Texas Longhorns. All right, so Samuel says you'll be going with your dad and your mom. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. RC, I forgot to read this when you say, JB, have you ever heard of a dish called red macaroni? I have not. But educate JB. And that time Gunner Stockton said, nope, I'm not going to catch it. I'm just going to deflect it down. Fourth down coming up. So Texas defense, they understood the assignment. And even though the special teams put them in not the best of situations, they found a way. You guys let me know. Who do you guys think is going to win tomorrow between the Rams and the Seahawks? I feel like that is going to be a high-scoring, nice game. All right, punts on the way. Fair catch at the 20-yard line. All right, so let's see what Texas has in store here in the second half, in which if you're the offense here, you would love to come out, be aggressive. All right, first and 10, gives it to the running back Wisner, and Wisner picks up about 5 yards on the carry there for University of Texas. Now they've got a 2nd and 5 coming up. And oh, another carry here. Oh no, he's going the wrong way. Somebody help him. Oh, and UGA, when they shut it down, they shut it down. All right, and Samuel says, JB Monday night NFL game, Cowboys versus Las Vegas Raiders at Las Vegas, Nevada. So yeah, is Geno Smith going to be quarterback in that game? Or I don't know how his injury was. I don't know if he was practicing or not, but is he going to be quarterback in that game? I sort of kind of want Aiden O'Connell to come back for the Raiders and just finish out this season. I think I've seen enough of Geno Smith, honestly. And they're going to put him on a Monday night game, too. Oh, man. Poor us. All right, 3rd and 13. Manning throws it, gets the completion, and a first down. So when they needed him to convert, he did. Meanwhile, Florida's still up 24-20 late third quarter in that matchup. Let's see, RC says you basically make macaroni and cheese, but you don't use any dairy product except cheese. You boil the noodles and pour in different types of tomato sauces and add cheese, and then pop it out into the oven. The play-by-play by RC. That's what we need, a cooking channel from RC with a play-by-play with it. Throws it, gets the completion. All right, so we go 1st and 10 here for the Longhorns. Manning throws it, gets the completion. He gets slammed down. All right, picked up a couple yards there. Again, we're here in the third quarter with about 11:08 to go ahead in the third quarter of play. Right now, Texas with the football facing the 2nd and 7 right now. UGA leading 14-3 in this one. Let's see, Samuel says, JB, I think maybe on is the next live stream of Monday Night Football. And so that is to be determined because them putting on the Raiders, I got to really think about that one there. With the Raiders being there. All right, play fake. Manning throws it short, gets the completion. All right, so he's going to possibly lose a yard, but there is a penalty here. There is a penalty. Let's see, RC says, JB, with these prices of groceries, that's probably not going to happen. You ain't lying, RC. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Let's see, Brayhawk says, UConn wins 86-84. All right, so again, UGA leading this with 14-3, but Texas trying to make this drive count. Oh, but that penalty hurt. That penalty hurt. Oh, I mean, oh wow, all penalties so far have been against Texas tonight. Texas has got to do way better from a discipline perspective. Manning throws it short, and he's going to pick up about 3-4 yards there on the reception. 3rd down coming up. Try to get some of those penalty yards back. Samuel says, will I be going live on Monday? I will see after work. I'll see after work because streaming the Raiders is really tough. Really tough. So I'm just going to have to see on Monday. You know, if it's a good Monday, JB's feeling energized and stuff, then yeah, but we're talking about the Raiders here. That's tough. And Arch Manning tried to keep it himself for the run. He lost a yard in the play. Like, what are we doing? Let the kid drop back and throw the ball. What are we doing? Meanwhile, I see Missouri's winning 21-10 at halftime over Mississippi State, Samuel. 21-10. Oh, wow, that TCU and BYU game's a late game. Too late for JB. And Samuel says, hey, uneducated sports talk. He's in the building. Did JB miss him? All right, let's see. Again, we are currently right now at the commercial here. So far, it's been going UGA's way, but Texas still has plenty of opportunities here, but it's time to start making them count. So, all right, again, still at the commercial here. So here we go to return back to the action here. Still plenty of football to be played here in this one here, but Texas, they got to find a way to get into the end zone at some point. But right now, they've got their hands full because they're going to defense here, so they cannot let UGA drive this one down the field. So from their own 18-yard line, receiver goes in motion. Gunner Stockton on the move. Gunner gonna throw this one, get the completion, tiptoes on the sideline, gets that catch. Second down coming up. And Samuel says, JB, look, my birthday cake photo comments. And so, okay, yeah, JB's got to check it out there. All right, again here in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Second and 4. 207 in terms of the yards UGA has accumulated so far. And Stockton's got to throw. Oh, he threw a pick. He threw a pick. This is exactly what Texas needed. This is what this game might have needed, honestly. Wow. To throw a pick. Everything was going UGA's way. But then, like a hero, the linebacker steps in front of the pass. Honestly, he was there the whole time. In the zone. Quarterback thought he can throw it over his head. Nope. Underestimated his vertical on that one. And his hands. Quick pass. Completed. All right, so Texas, you've been given your first gift today. You've got to make it count. Quick pass. Wingo. Tripped them up. Picked up about a yard, maybe two on a catch. So it's 7:38 to go. You guys got to get a first down here, Texas. You got to find a way to get a first down here. You was given a gift. You have to make it count. When your defense gets you the football, you got to make it count. All right, so 3rd and 6. Throws it. Oh, what a catch. What a spectacular catch by Wingo on the play. He went up there and he snagged that one out the air. That was a big time play. Big time play. All right, so it's 6 minutes and 35 seconds left to go here in the third quarter of play. Tight end goes in motion. Manning throws it. Incomplete, ball deflected, incomplete. All right, so we got 6 minutes and 26 seconds left to go here in the third. Again, UGA up 14-3, but Texas right now understanding that they could really use some points here on this drive. And Manning runs into traffic. There was just simply not a lane for Manning to run through. That's been the theme tonight. That has been the theme tonight. See, the Buckeyes are up 27-0 in that matchup against UCLA. Right, 3rd and 13 for the Texas Longhorns here. So a big third down right here. They're obviously wanting to get a touchdown. They're going to have to get a first down or possibly even a touchdown here to keep hope alive. And they're going to call their first time out. And that's big because we're talking about here in the third quarter, about 5 minutes, 38 seconds left to go in the third quarter. They're down 14-3. So if they don't score a touchdown here, that's a big timeout that they just burnt in that situation. And again, we are once again at the commercial. Well, it's been a lot of commercials in this game. Cannot even lie. There's been a lot of commercials. All right, we're still at the commercial here. And over there showing Chick-fil-A. That looks good. All right, so again, here at the commercial, just awaiting us to resume action and figure out what is going to happen. Let's see. Samuel says he thinks Ohio State versus Alabama for the national championship. So despite Bama losing today to Oklahoma, he says it matters not. It is going to be Ohio State versus Bama. Now that would be quite the matchup. JB versus, I guess you could say, Black Medicine's team. All right, so here we go. Resuming play, 3rd and 13 right now for the Texas Longhorns, who trail right now 14-3. This is a pivotal 3rd down here if you are Texas, because obviously you want to try to get a touchdown, but you really just need some points right now. What would they do? You absolutely don't want to take a sack. Manning looking. Manning throws one up there. Oh, incomplete. Incomplete, but there's a flag. There is a flag. What they're going to call pass interference. That's major. Major for a team that did not commit any penalties in the first half there. So yeah, buddy, you can't do that. You just can't do it. Let's see. Sammy says he thinks LSU versus Ohio State for a national championship there. Must be talking college hoops there. And so CRC says, what's good, JB? And so, hey, JB's just out here cooling, wondering how many commercial breaks are we going to get in this game? I'll say that. They're certainly getting their advertisement in, that's for sure. All right. So from the 7-yard line, they snap it. Manning keeps it. Manning throws it. And that's going to be a touchdown, Texas. And of course, Ryan Wingo with the reception in the end zone for a touchdown. 7-yard receiving touchdown. And so now Texas, they're happy. They understand. They kept their cool. They weathered the storm. And now they were able to strike and get some points here. And now we await the PAT attempt. All right, extra point attempt. It is good. So now the score right now is 14-10 here in the 3rd quarter with 5 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Texas just got their first touchdown of the game. And now UGA, they'll get the football when we come back. And of course, the score 14-10 right now. UGA with the lead, but Texas feeling more confident right now. And RC said, JB, finally they showed a game after I missed 16 minutes. He said, I didn't have Fox Sports 2, so I had to wait until Fox Sports 1 came with the game. Don't you just hate that, RC? Don't you just hate that? It's like you really was there for that game. It's supposed to be on that channel, but then they put it to another channel until it's ready. You hate when stuff like that overlaps. All right, so now we are currently here at yet another commercial. So JB's going to utilize this commercial and step out for a second, but I will be right back in a second. JB is back. JB is back. And we are still on a commercial here. But we got to see the Texas Longhorns score a touchdown here, so that's going to give the offense confidence there. Manning able to throw that strike in the end zone. And so now it is 14-10. So let's see how UGA responds here. Again, we're still here in the third quarter of play. CRC says JB said play some Britney Spears and Pussycat Dolls while he was gone. JB did not say such things. All right, so the Texas Longhorns, they are getting ready to line up here for the kickoff. Again, third quarter with 5 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Kickoff on the way. Will we get a return here by UGA? There's been some good returns in this one. And so UGA with it. And solid return to about the 28-yard line. RC says, JB, so I guess I lied. It seems that way. It seems that way, RC. No truths were told in that previous statement. All right, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Oh, Gunner got hit while he threw it, but he delivered the package anyways. Nice pickup on the play, but yeah, Stockton took a hit on that pass. Because Simmons came in there like a wrecking ball, as RC would say. All right, 2nd and 3 here for the Georgia Bulldogs. Well, my dinner is still waiting on me right now, RC, but some grilled salmon. Some grilled salmon, some squash. That is what JB's going to be eating once this stream concludes. All right, 4:30 left to go here in the third quarter. We've got a 3rd and 3 right now for UGA. So if UGA somehow doesn't get this and then Texas gets the ball back, things will be very interesting. So right now, big play in the game. Who's going to make the play? And Stockton throws it back at the back from the back. He is going to Texas believe he's short. The referee says he's short also, so it's a yard shy. Let's see. Samuel says JB Bass Pro Shop Store was Santa Claus. So that's where Santa Claus has been hiding at, is what you're saying. All right, so 4th down here for UGA, and they're going to opt to go ahead and punt this one on 4th and 1. We're going to stop the clock here first. Let's see. Yeah, UGA believes he got this 1st down. But the referee was right there also. Look, they say ball carrier down at 36-yard line. Let's see. RC says JB. JB to RC. All right, so they're saying fourth down. Still, so they stood with the original call there, fourth down. I was about to say now, as big as y'all is up front, y'all got to consider going for it. Let's see. I said, JB, I thought you said you were only doing early streams on Saturday. And so, well, actually, early this morning, I was supposed to get my car at the car shop. So therefore, I was like, well, let me not schedule something early because I don't know what time they're going to call me for it. But then they informed me that it wasn't going to be available till Monday. So I was like, well, you could have told me that in advance. But long story short, I try to mix it up based upon, if my wife has any plans on going shopping or something like that, then if she wants to go early, then I'll try to find something late. If she wants to go late, I try to find something early. So right now, still trying to figure out the best schedule for it. Let's see, I said I'm watching the same game you're watching because SC versus USC are at the half right now. Okay, halftime, great. All right, shotgun here. We're at a 1st and 10 for UGA. Gives it to the back, and the back, oh man. Oh man. Yeah, that's a loss of a yard on a carry. We got 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go here in the third quarter of play. And again, UGA up 14-10. Stockton. Oh, Stockton. Stockton ran into traffic that time. He didn't like it. Third down coming up. He lost some yards there on that run. And RC says, JB, you got a Cybertruck out the shop. You're a baller. That would be the case if that were actually true. That would certainly be the case. I'd be baller of the year. I would be baller of the year. Uh-oh. Salmon says UJB Drive was a Ford and a Jeep Dodge Chevy. And so, man, apparently JB's a man of many vehicles, apparently. This is news to JB. All right, so we're talking 4th and 5 here. Wait a minute, there's a flag. Is this a free play? It's incomplete. Another flag. Oh my goodness. Texas, what are you doing? All right, let's see. Okay, so oh man, I see Ole Miss is leading right now 27-24 over Florida. They're in the fourth quarter, under 3 minutes to go in that matchup. Wonder how that was going to play out there. But UGA, fresh new set of downs to work with here. First and 10, gonna feed to the back in the back. He is gonna fight, still in his feet there, slippery runner there. Picks up about a good 8 yards there on the play. Just when I thought it was gonna be a 2-3 yard gain, he just slid his way through. Second and 3. Samuel says that his mom's rocking a SUV 2018 Chevy Equinox there. Okay. Samuel says he'd be out there driving all through the neighborhood, doing wheelies and everything. I see Missouri's up 21-17 in the third quarter over Mississippi State. I see Lakers are up 105-87. All right, so that can run out the rest of the quarter. Second and 3 right now. UGA with a lead 14-10 right now, and they know it's 1 quarter left to go here in this one. Again, Bulldogs up 14-10. So Sammy says, do I drive a Chevy? Good question there, Sammy. One of my many videos, vehicles you could say. Is JB heavy on the Chevy? All right, let me see. Then we're at the commercial here. And still commercial once again. Okay. Again, once again, another commercial because we are at the end of the quarter, getting ready to start the fourth quarter. And we are waiting for the fourth quarter to resume here. We've had quite a few commercials in this one. All right, so 2nd and 3 here for the Bulldogs. Stockton throws it on the run, gets the completion, gets the first down, goes to bounce out around the 30-yard line there. And so Bulldogs there, first play of the fourth quarter, gets the first down. They are moving right now. They're up 14-10. For the Bulldogs, it's simple. Don't make mistakes and just do what you do. All right, 1st and 10. Throws it. Oh my goodness, all by himself until he reaches the end zone for the touchdown, UGA. How do you let that happen? They lulled the defense to sleep and then they took advantage. And that was London on the track there. Humphreys with the 30-yard receiving touchdown. Let's see. She said, JB, that sounds like a healthy meal. Salmon, rice, veggies, and legume. Hey, JB does what makes it do what it do. You know? JB makes it do what it do. From time to time. And now the PAT attempt coming up here for UGA. A big touchdown here, which puts the pressure, especially on Texas here, as offensively they've got to replicate the success they had last time out there. And can they? Will they? That is the question. And Sammy says UCLA versus Ohio State game score 7-41. How did we give up 7 points there, Samuel? How did we do that? As he said, JB, I'll trade all that for some KFC. Trade declined. Oh man, that was definitely all by himself. And so Stephanie, what's good? What's good? How are you? And again, UGA went on a 10-play drive there. A surprise onside kick. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Who thinks to do that in the fourth quarter when you're up 21-10 and the other team offense really hasn't been doing all that much? But to think to do a surprise onside kick, that takes balls, and they have. Oh my goodness, look at that. The fans there in shock. That's one heck of a call right there. I mean, that one right there, that's one heck of a call. Give it to the kicker because he came out like it was going to be a regular kick. Texas was not ready for it. Wow. Let's see, Stephanie says, good. How about you? JB is doing great. I am doing great. Absolutely. But wow, guys, what a play. These are the plays that win ball games. You steal possessions like that. But that's insane. Brayhawk says, wow, that was ballsy. So yes. So now UGA can continue to do what they did last time. You know, if they can go on another 10-play drive, take off some time there, and then come up with a score, that'd be big. They're going to feed it to the running back, and the running back, oh, look at him. Taking it to the Texas side of the field there. So, wow, 21-10, UGA is leading, and they got the football. So if you turned your head for a second and you missed all of that, a lot of things happened. Just a minute or two ago, it was 14-10. Now it's 21-10, UGA with the football. So if you're Texas defensively, you've got no room for error now. You've got to step up right here, right now. UGA, shotgun formation. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back. Going to feed to the back again. In the back. Picks his hole wisely there. Takes it to about the 38-yard line. Let's see. Brayhawk says that was ballsy. And RC says Ohio State 41, UCLA 7. And so Criminal Minded, what's good? What's good? Says checking in. Dog guy, what's good with you? How are you tonight? How are you tonight? I can't believe we are so close to Thanksgiving, guys. That is insane. And then after Thanksgiving, you guys be sure that you're ready to take advantage of the Black Friday deals that we do get. Cyber Monday after that. A lot of things coming up, man. They're going to throw it here to the receiver, and the receiver gets the first down, brought down at the 29-yard line. That was Bell with the reception. And again, everything's going UGA's way. That's how you turn the table. Archie said JB is on the low George Mason fan in college basketball. I like George Mason. I like good old George Mason. Archie says, Brayhawk, you hate South Carolina. Get to the back again, and oh man, look at that. I'm noticing on this drive, every time, Gunnar Stockton is handing the ball off, there's a linebacker going full speed, hoping that Gunnar Stockton pulls this ball back in so he can just light him up. Samuel says, coming soon next month, December, Christmas Eve night, Santa Claus Town is back. And so Samuel says he's going to be singing a solo for Christmas this upcoming year. All right, 2nd and 2 for the Bulldogs. They're up 21-10. Gives it to the running back once more, and the running back gets enough for a first down. Thanks to forward progress there. Brayhawk says, well, RC, I know what South Carolina hates, and it's 30-3 leads. So Brayhawk already taking shots already. If you're a South Carolina fan, just turn your head. Just turn your head. And what is going on with the Denver and Minnesota game? I feel like the stats are not updating right now, and I'm over there trying to figure out what's going on. So what is going on with that? I need to see Julius Randle's assists. But again, we're at the commercial right now, and so UGA, they're feeling good. They're feeling great. That surprise onside kick, that right there really put a big dent for Texas right there. I mean, that's why you always tell your players to be ready for anything, because literally anything can happen, and it did happen, and Texas was not ready for it. Or she said, JB is the real Santa Claus? Perhaps. 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 Let's see. Brayhawk says Lane Kiffin beats his new team. Dang. I mean, when you beat your team that you're going to be joining, it only ups the offer even more. They're like, dang, we need him. Way to win over the locker room, you could say, Brayhawk. Let's see. RC said, okay, JB, if you are Santa Claus, where is my PS5 and your big screen TV? You know what, Santa Claus, he ain't got the budget this year, RC. Hard times there, hard times. Santa's on a budget. Everybody's getting a journal and a pencil this year. I really want to know what's going on with that Nuggets and Timberwolves games because they are not updating the player stats. Oh well. Let's see. RC said, JB, you could always be JB clause, and the JB stands for just in budget. Just in budget. All right, 1st and 10. Again, 4th quarter, and what UGA wants more than anything is to take off as much time as they can and score. Because that's how you win in the SEC. But there seems to be a player injured right now for Texas. 11 minutes to go. Someone tell the scorekeeper who's running the clock. They finally stop him at 10:56. Samuel laughs at that. Let's see, RC said just budget, I mean. All right, but there is an injured player being looked at right now for Texas. Here in the 4th quarter with 11 minutes left to go. Again, UGA up 21-10 right now. And that's Anthony Hill Jr., who's a junior. All right, but he's walking off on his own, so that's a great sign there. RC says he's going to ask Leah Boston on a date. I'm not so sure that the miss is going to be happy about that one, RC. I don't think she's going to approve you to do that at all. You shoot your shot, it's going to be blocked immediately. Blocked by your girl, saying nope. All right, 2nd and 9. Again, 10 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter play. And right now, this drive has the potential, as it feels, like the kind that could really just end hope there for the Longhorns, that the UGA can just get into that end zone, and they want to take off as much as time as possible. Gunnar Stockton's going to keep it himself there, running. Oh, he gets enough for the 1st down. Look at that. Making play after play after play. And RC says, JB, what she does not know won't hurt nobody. Let's just hope that's the case, RC. Whether you think AB would say yes is the question. All right, 9:50 left to go here in the 4th quarter. 1st and goal for UGA. Currently a 7-play drive. This is play number 8. Feeds to the running back, and the running back moving his feet. Forward progress, line help, all that. It stalls out. Maybe a pickup of perhaps 2 on the play. Let's see, Samuel says, you, JB, dinner, night, food. Oh yeah, JB's got his food already. JB's just waiting on this stream to end so that way JB can dive in and eat. All right, so here we go. 2nd and goal. Under 9 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter play for UGA, who's up 21-10. And now Gunnar Stockton's going to throw this one and gets the touchdown. Some call it lucky, some don't. But, hey, he got it. And Dirty 30 knows what that means. What's good? He says, go Dogs. He's happy about that. Hey, and there's a lot to be happy about. Tips off to Kirby Smart there. He had the perfect timing. He must have saw that the special teams was just simply just running, not looking back. Whatever he saw, hey, it worked. That's how you close out a game. And so many teams don't know how to close out a game, but that's how you do it. Mr. RC said, JB, you know I'm not a good role model. RC, you're better than you think. All right, extra point is good, 28 to 10. Will we see a follow-up to that surprise onside kick? Probably not, but hey, congrats UGA. That's a big play, big win. I'm going to go ahead and say win because they're up 18 points, 853. You know, might be premature on my behalf, but hey, that's how you close out games. But we'll see what Texas does, assuming they get a chance offensively coming up. All right, again, we are at the commercial here. And so Dirty30 just subscribed to the channel. Hey, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Absolutely. But man, tell me, what are your expectations for UGA? You know, do you see UGA winning it this year? How far do you see UGA going this year? Let's see. RC says, JB, when you said extra point is good, a basketball player just converted the and one shot at the same time? Hey, JB's got perfect timing. SM says, JB, my bad, I went to get some food. And so, hey, that sounds great to me, SM. What'd you end up getting? If you don't mind sharing with us, what'd you end up getting? SM says, Carl's Jr., okay. Okay. Well, tell me this, guys. Tell me this. With Thanksgiving coming up, who here in the chat is the go-to cook for the family with a big occasion like Thanksgiving coming up? So who here is the go-to cook? And if you're not the go-to cook, who in the family is the go-to cook that's trusted to at least engineer, or I shouldn't say engineer, or at least be in charge of the Thanksgiving food and make sure that if anybody is going to contribute, it goes through this person? Let's see, Sammy says he's got 97 subscribers now, so you're 3 away from hitting 100, Samuel. That's what's up. When is the next video coming? RC said, JV, what's your least favorite food to eat? You know what? My least favorite food to eat. You know, I don't remember the name of this one thing, but it was like an Asian dish that I tasted years ago. And it's like extremely healthy, but the taste was so bad. I put down snacks for the rest of the night. I could not get that taste out of my mouth. When it finally disappeared, I was like, no more. No more. Essence says, might be called Hardee's where you live. And so, yep, they do. They do. But hey, great decision there. All right, Texas on the return here. Tripped up at the 10-yard line. So starting from their own 10, they're down 18 points against UGA. Things are not looking so bright right now for Texas. The offense has been slow for the most part of the game there. They've certainly made their mistakes, their share of penalties there. So we'll just have to see what they do. Let's see, RC said at Thanksgiving, everyone that knows how to cook and washes their hands better chip in on the holiday cooking. RC said it takes a community to feed the community. Let's see, 30-30 says, I'm hoping we win it all, but it's a young team, but all the close wins is building this young team. I wonder if UGA will get a crack at a rematch of last year's game, because if I'm not mistaken, it was Notre Dame that knocked you guys out last year, right? I would love to see a UGA Notre Dame matchup again. Oh, did he lose the ball? He fumbled the ball. Arch Manning turned to Ouch Manning on the play. My goodness, UGA is not playing around right now. They can sense the blood. They smell the blood in the water, and they're going in for the kill. Look at this. So Arch, as he's done all night when he felt the pressure, stepped up, tried to throw this one, and it just wasn't happening. Wow. Sammy says, he thinks, but he doesn't know the new video yet. As I said, I can help with cooking, but not the main cook. Okay, okay. Hey, help is definitely appreciated. Now, if anybody's out here is a one-person army in which they're out there doing most of the dish, now, of course, if somebody brings dessert and stuff like that, but I'm talking about the core dish, you're handling it, hey, hats off to you. Hats off to you. All right, we got 3rd and 14 coming up right now. And so if you're UGA, you're pinning your ears back here and you're about to get after it. You're up 28-10, 3rd and 14. Archman is going to be feeling all kinds of pressure on his play here. He's from his own 7-yard line, fresh off a fumble that his offense did recover. Can he recover on this one? Gets the snap, looking, going deep, incomplete. And that is going to be 4th down. They've got no choice but to punt it. Let's see. Oh, my bad, RC. You say, JB, do you like chicken and beef, fried rice, and orange chicken? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You say black pepper steak and beef lo mein. You like stuff like that. And so, you know what, RC? I do. JB does. JB does. Now, there was a second now where I was getting a lot of lo mein. I probably don't get as much as I used to with that. But shoot, fried rice, orange chicken, sign JB up. All right, now the return here for UGA. And, oh, big hit. Big hit, but, hey, he'll take the field position. He will take that. I see Greyhawk said missed. He said, yeah, that's game. And Dirty 30 says, they can all get it. He says, go Dogs. He says, they are not backing down from anybody right now. And when you play like this, you certainly shouldn't back down to nobody. So best of luck to your Bulldogs the rest of the way. Now, there's still 7 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in this one here, so UGA has to run some clock here, and the way they've been running the football, we know what they're going to do. Defense is tired, deflated. Stockton up under center here. Receiver goes in motion, going to give it to the back, and the back is going to pick up about 2 yards on the carry. All right, so we got a 2nd and 8 right now. 7:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter. And it's very simple. Just keep running that clock right now for UGA. Stockton up under center here. Going back in the backfield. Off the left side. Look at that 1st down. Look at him run, still fighting all the way to about the 10-yard line. You know he wants a touchdown. You know he wants to. As Mr. JB once said, it's the other team's job to stop him. So he's going all out there. Look at that. Excellent blocking, a lot of space there. I don't know where Texas head is right now, but they certainly, they don't want the smoke no more. Essence says, JB, are you a turkey or ham guy? You like turkey? It depends on how that turkey's made now. Because if that turkey's dry, give me the ham. But if that turkey's baked right, then give me that turkey. Because I feel like turkey's not something that I have as much. So I'm going to lean towards turkey if it's done right. Right, 1st and goal. Another carrier for the back. Picks up 2 yards there. That works for UGA. Let's see. RC says, JB, you have to stop eating barbecued baboons armpits. RC, it was stopped before it began. And Samuel says Florida versus Ole Miss final score 24-34. And Ole Miss with the W. Brayhawk says, looks like we'll be seeing Georgia versus either A&M or Bama in the SEC championship game. And so would it not be A&M? I mean, because Bama did lose to Carolina. Was that their, no, that was their first conference loss. I'm tripping. That's their first conference loss. So they still have a little bit of hope. Okay. That's the JB. Who is your all-time 3 greatest NFL coaches? Ooh, a top 3 all-time NFL coaches there. So for me, I would have to say, and again, give me 1 second here. All right, 5 minutes left to go in this one. 28-10. 3rd and goal. All right, so again, milk as much time as possible before they call that time. Well, Texas called the timeout there. So, okay, I'm like, you're down 18. UGA's about to score. I guess you don't want to score, I guess. Maybe that's why. All right, but I would have to say, let's see, in my top 3, because it's always a bit of a conversation for me. The easy ones for me right off the bat is Bill Belichick, Vince Lombardi. Those 2 for me are definitely easy ones. But then the 3rd one is where it's like, okay, so who do I like 3rd? Because there's quite a few options that I do have there. I personally like to include guys like Bill Walsh, but is he number 3 for me right now? Perhaps he might be number 3 for me. Let's see. Brayden says, what RC? Yeah, you don't hear that every day, Brayhawk. You don't hear that every day. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, man. I'm like, nah, RC, that is not on the menu. All right, again, we are at the commercial right now as UGA. They've definitely shown this game. They dominated for the most part of this game. And as for Texas, you still have a tough path the rest of the way of the schedule. So got to find a way to move on, find some positive things that you can learn from this one. But this was UGA tonight. This was UGA tonight. Russia says Parcells, Belichick, Cower, or Dungy, Jimmy Johnson, Andy Reid. Okay, you put Bill Cowher in that list. Laney says, I was so hoping that Texas would pull off a 4th quarter upset. And so, well, the only upset that Texas pulled is upsetting their own fans at this point. But that was tough. When they scored that touchdown, though, it did seem like they were about to come back because I believe they did sort of get a stop from UGA, I think, and got the ball back or something like that. But then after that, when UGA scored again, they said, nah, we're going to make sure you don't get the chance to come back in this one. Brayock says Luka had 41 against the Bucks. Man, watching Luka play is just an honor. Thrilled for it. Sammy says, look at his birthday cake photo comment. Okay, bet. RC said, Laney, what up? Yo, you said you're good? All right, so we got 3rd down coming here. 3rd and goal for UGA. Up 28-10. But of course, you play to score. Fakes the toss. Looking. Oh, he's going to turn that one up. And he splits defenders for the touchdown. Because why not? Because why not? Why not? Lady says, hey, RC, I'm okay. Been better, but it's okay. Let's see, RC says, Greyhawk, if Addy isn't playing a lot more by conference play, I'm going to flip my entire week. Oh, man. Greyhawk says, it's getting ugly now. Oh, yeah. Greyhawk says she should be RC. Of course, in conference play for sure. All right, 35-10 is the score right now. Here in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes and 43 seconds to go. And we appreciate everybody that's still on right now. This game may be over, but we are going to see it all the way to the end of it. And you know what? This is exactly what the college football playoff committee is looking like. Okay, so yeah, that's not what they want to see in the college football playoffs. RC said, JB, thanks for watching my lady stealing steak and lobster videos. The numbers from that video did really well. 544 views. Hey, that's great. That's great. That is great. 544. Hey, and that was funny though. That was funny. I was like, that is just that is funny. Like the things that some people do. That's insane. Brock says Texas fans having a tough day today. Oh, it doesn't get tougher than that now. No tougher than that. And Samuel says UCLA versus Ohio State game. Final score, Buckeyes won 48-10. Go Buckeyes. All right, let's see. Throws it, gets the completion here, and again, just got to find some positive things. You don't want to end on a bad note here. So if you're Texas there, even though this isn't going to change the outcome of the game, you definitely want to go down there and try to score. I see BYU's up 10-0 against TCU there in the first quarter. RC said, JB, my buddy, well, requested that I do more news stories commentary. And so, I mean, you may be onto something, really. You know, you may be onto something. If the views are coming in and it's something that you don't, you know, it's something that you do enjoy going through or it's not a hassle, then hey, go for it. All right, so Brayhawk says Texas has been eliminated from the playoffs. How many SEC teams do we see getting in now? That is the question. You know, so let me take a look to the side and see the SEC conference standings right now. So that way I can make sure I don't forget anybody. All right, so let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 5. I feel like 5 is an adequate number considering the teams here. Probably 5. I would be able to make a case for. Obviously, the rest of the schedule of playoffs, so some of these teams might eliminate each other. But as of right now, it's a good. But will they put that many from one conference? I'd say no. So let me reduce that to 4. JV's tripping it. By the time they all play each other, it'll come down to really 4. But there's a case for 5. Or maybe I'm adding too many SEC teams there to the conference. All right, 2nd and 10. Yeah, definitely not 5. Too many teams there. So let's say about 4. All right, so now we've got a 3rd and 10 here in the fourth quarter with 4:08 left to go in Texas right now. Still trying to finish strong. UGA, they're just as amped up. They want a strong finish too. Manning out of the shotgun, pressure coming. Manning throws it there in the back. Oh, he couldn't even catch it. Couldn't even catch it. It's been just that kind of day. Oh man, look at that. Fourth quarter yards. Texas just has 12? Really? Oh my. All right, so 4th down here. Manning throws it. I guess the completion out of bounds. It's going to be a 1st down. But all we really care about now is that clock. Keeping that clock moving. Arcee said, JB, did you see the one I did about the girl who bit into needle that was hidden in her Snickers bar or something on Halloween during trick? Was it a Snickers bar? I ain't gonna lie, they would have had JB like that too. Because if it was a Snickers bar, JB was not gonna turn it down. I would say that. But man, that is. I don't think I've seen that one. I'm trying to think though, because I do remember seeing something similar to that, but I don't think I saw that particular one. And Samuel says, you think national championship winner? The Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's see, Brad says, you actually see 5 getting in if Alabama wins the SEC and if A&M beats Texas and Georgia Tech beats Georgia. And so I said 5 initially because I was looking at the team records. I can see the path there, but I wasn't sure would they put 5 SEC teams in there? That's a lot of spots for one conference. And so Andrea, what's good? What's good? How are you? How are you? Thanks for coming through. All right, and again, right now for Texas, this is all about just finishing strong right here because you don't want to walk out knowing that you just played that bad. So even though you got beat, just go out there and keep competing. Brandon says, correction, if Georgia beats Georgia Tech. I was thinking, I was like, what does he mean if Georgia Tech beats Georgia? I'm like, will that help Georgia's cause? But no, I mean, last year they played one heck of a game. I would really love to see another game similar to that. All right, called overturn on the fumble. 3 minutes and 37 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter play. And UGA up 35-10. But right now, you're just out there playing for respect if you're Texas. Simon says, you think, oh, maybe Ohio State is in the college football playoffs, win it out? I like that one. Manning throws it short, gets the completion, and great job by the defender there. Stop his progress, trying to whip the ball out. Brayock says, sorry, I've been typing too fast and not proofreading tonight. It happens to the best of us. 2nd and 9, throws it, gets the completion there. It's about the 15-yard line. All right, and again, 3:02 left to go. All right, shotgun formation here for Arch Manning. Manning moving, throws this one, just throws this one away basically. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left to go. And Manning today is 26 of 40 for 247 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. All right, 2nd and 10. Looking, throws this one, gets the completion, and he's going to be brought down around the 10-yard line. All right, RC says, JB, when is your next stream? And so my next stream is supposed to be Monday Night Football. That's supposed to be Monday Night Football, but I got to think long and hard about the Raiders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till after I finish work and stuff like that, see if everything's going as it should be. So it should be Monday. But man, RC, I really hope that the Raiders come ready to play, because that one could get ugly. That one could get ugly. But yeah, that's right now, ideally the next live stream there. Cowboys versus Raiders, I believe, is the matchup. So now we got a 4th down here, 4th and 6 with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left to go. Longhorns trying to find a way to get a touchdown here. All right, so we got trips at the top of the screen here. Manning looking. Manning throws it up there. Incomplete. Incomplete. Manning took a hit. You don't want your quarterback taking hits like that. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left to go. UGA will get the football. You guys know what that means. It's time for UGA to burn some clocks. RC says, JB, I kind of leave the news story about sexual assault out. He said, kind of a bit cringe to me for content. Plus, they say the R word too much for me in the newscast. I understand that completely. I certainly understand that one completely. But yeah, if you're Texas, brutal loss here. Brutal loss here. You came in here understanding that you needed to win this one if you're going to keep those college football playoff hopes alive. Again, Texas came into the season ranked number 1. But not the results you want. But hey, 7-3, you still have many goals ahead of you. RC says, Cowboys 44, Raiders 7. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. But hey, if you tell me that those 44 points are the result of Jamal Williams going out there and running the ball for my fantasy football team, I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, and Kenneth says, good night, all my friends. See ya on the next stream. And when is it? And so, yeah, we're all anticipating that Monday night football game between the Cowboys and Raiders. It would be a good time for the NFL to flex out that game, but I get it. But yeah, Cowboys, Raiders, Monday. Archie said, JB, are you guys still undefeated? Buckeyes are still undefeated. They are still undefeated. Yes. When he says, great stream, JB, glad to see you back. See you next time. And so yeah, it's good to be back. And I'm glad that YouTube TV worked out their situation for real. All right, again, JB always waits until that final need before ending. So we're at the 2-minute mark, but we all know what's coming after that. Brayhawk says, I think Arch has gotten better as the season has gone on. He's been making better decisions, even though his O-line hasn't been good. Well, sometimes, Braden, when you start the bar off at -20, you've got no choice but to get better, because what we saw week 1 was atrocious the first couple of weeks. But yeah, improvement is improvement. You know, but for him to come in and was the consensus potential #1 pick, though, that goes to show that people are going too far off of potential. Let the guys develop first, and then let's see how good they become. That's just how it is. All right, let's see. Samuel says, good, great night, and says, ladies, see you soon at UST. And he says, good night, Samuel. So see you then. Let's see. RC says, Kenneth, peace out, bro. And then he says, typo. It says Kennedy again. So let's see. So it says he's here for UST. Oh, we got it right that time. RC got it right that time. 3 times a charm. Let's see, Brayhawk says, agreed, JB's expectations were way too high. It was, because from what I watched the year before, he mostly was using his legs, which is nice, but quarterbacks who can throw at an elite level against the competition he was playing, they don't tend to run a lot when they're playing teams that, aren't even really one of the major program teams. So, but everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody's got to develop. So that's why he's going to be coming back again next year. So where he is next year, that's what I want to see. And so Mouse House, what's good? He said, Mom hit you with a shoe. Now you're sleepy. And so you got to work on your dodging skills there. But I feel you there. Let's see. Brandon said, thought you were talking about Kennedy Smith, RC. RC says, Brayhawk, Jazzy looks like nerves tonight. Not having the best night. Samuel says, JB, look at my birthday cake photo comments. And so, appreciate that reminder there for sure. For sure. Greyhawk says, freshmen will have those games. RC, she'll be fine, though. All right, so with 2 minutes left to go, UGA going to go ahead and attempt to run the ball here. We're going to have a third down coming up. And again, backups, quarterback in the game for UGA. Let's see, and Brayhawk says, good night, JB, great stream. And so thanks for coming through, Braden. Good night and best of luck to you the rest of the way in our fantasy football league as well. Oh, look at that. Going nowhere, no time soon. UGA unable to get any yards. They'll lose his yards, actually. But most importantly, the clock is running. Now, they won't be able to run out the clock there, but they will leave Texas with about 20-something seconds after they end up running down the clock. Let's see. Sammy says, oh, no, Mississippi State, bad game. What's the score right now for Mississippi State? All right, punts it. All right, ball goes out of bounds. So there's about 21 seconds left in this one. So congratulations there, UGA on the W. And with Bama losing, UGA is going to be going up there in the poll. A&M did struggle with South Carolina. Indiana won decisively, and Ohio State won decisively. So Cruz Jones, what's good with you? What's good? And you say, what do I think about Bama losing? And so that right there was a big loss right there. That tells me that Alabama currently right now has an Oklahoma problem. The way that Oklahoma is built, that is a problem for Alabama because the year before they beat Bama as well. And so in both times, Bama came in with the, on paper, superior team there. So that's a loss right there, but I expect Alabama to recover from there, I don't think they're going to lose another regular season game, and we'll see what that means in terms of, college football playoffs, but their goals are still in front of them. But at the same time, shout out to Oklahoma to get that W. That was a big W for them. Samuel says 49-24. Oh my, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. But hey guys, that's the end of the game right there. So UGA won 35-10. 35-10. Let's see. RC said, JB, Brayhawk, I'm actually quite shocked. I really am. You said my Addy Deal reoccurring episode series is doing well with views considering you're on episode 3. The people love it. They can't get enough, RC. Lewis, I mentioned you earlier on the stream. I said when we don't see Lewis, that means one thing. That means he won enough bets to go on a vacation. Man, what's good? I know you've got me feeling good, man. The Bulldogs just won, and also your Chicago Bears, things are looking promising. I know you're feeling good. And so you say, what up, fam? And go dogs. Hey, the dogs, I know they won you that money. I know they did. It was easy. Easy money. Easy money. And Lewis says he's back. So yeah, JB's happy to see it there. So you say back to Mexico for Christmas vacation. So Lewis is starting early. Lewis is starting early. That's how you know he don't rack it up with all those victories over the years. So he's starting his vacation early, and he's going to stay throughout Christmas. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad to see you back, Lewis. Absolutely. But yeah, the game just finalized here. JB still has to eat dinner, so JB hasn't eaten yet, even though it's really late now that I look at it. But man, RC says, peace out, JB. Holla. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming through. It's been great. It's been real. Again, congratulations, UGA. Nice, decisive victory there. As for Texas, better luck next time. All right, take care. JB signing out. See you guys then. Let's see. Lewis says, next stream, JB, I'll be there. Hey, looking forward to it, Lewis. We got a lot to catch up about. A lot to catch up about. But yeah, take care, everybody. See you then.